conference champions. Joe Taylor's Hampton Pirates also in the hunt. They too have just one loss within the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. MEAC championship implications loom large as the Rattlers and Pirates are up next on the MEAC Game of the Week.
Foundation, Dr.
Armstrong Stadium on the campus of Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia, Florida A&M, and Hampton in a key Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference game. Hi, everyone, along with Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin. Well, both of these teams have reached that proverbial fork in the road in the conference race.
Because today's game is brought to you by the number 2. For that is the number of losses that today's loser will have, and chances are they're out of the championship race, and you know that means countdown to signing day.
Let's discuss some of the principles, beginning with Florida A&M 6'1", 230-pound bruiser.
O.J. Marchbanks is his name, and you're absolutely right, Dwayne. He is a bruiser. He knows how to score. He's tough between the tackles, a physical, punishing runner who's helped the evolution of the Florida A&M Rattler offense emerge. And then, of course, with Hampton University, you're talking about an emerging offense via the passing attack, and Zuriel Smith is a key component. He can get the ball downfield. He stretches defenses. He's also tough going across the middle. And with the change in quarterback right now, Dwayne, I think Hampton's skill players really could have a big day.
Speaking of that change, we have a youngster and a veteran.
Well, the veteran is Quinn Gray, arguably the most prolific passer in the history of Florida A&M. He's on the verge of setting a couple of records today. He's managing the offense a lot better than he's done in the past, taking what the defense gives him, and he's also been dangerous getting outside the pocket, making things happen with his legs. And of course, Hampton University will be led by Timothy Frazier, a 3.8 GPA, a biology major, comes in as player of the week. He can throw the ball downfield. We're going to see a slash version of the previous quarterback, Octavius Cash, as a receiver. That means Hampton has another very talented skill player. Tim Frazier will be the man on the bubble, so to speak, but I think he can get the job done.
A couple of exciting players in our U.S. Airways quarterback comparison. Now, let's bring in a third member of our team, Donna Hopkins, who's down on the sidelines. Donna?
Hey, guys, it doesn't get any bigger than this. In talking to the coaches, they are calling this game a championship game, mainly because the team that has won this game has gone on to win the MEAC championship. They said that it's tied at 2-2. Back upstairs.
Well, Donna, a few moments ago, Coach Billy Joe of Florida A&M told me that both teams had their backs to the wall, and this would be a fight till the end. He expects a great game. We'll hold him to that. Kickoff when we come back. Where Florida A&M is set to kick off to Hampton University in our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week. So much on the line in this game here this afternoon. Series history, just 10 games old, but Florida A&M holds the lead 7-3 last season. Florida A&M winning in Tallahassee 53-24. Quinn Gray, the quarterback for Florida A&M, 4 touchdown passes in that game.
Dwayne, to this point, over the last couple of games, it's pretty much been all Florida A&M. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they're leading by an aggregate 100-30 in terms of outscoring Florida, in terms of outscoring Hampton over the last couple of games. So Hampton got a lot to prove today.
A&M won the toss, deferred, deciding to put that man Lennon Nesbitt's foot to work, put Hampton on the offense, put A&M's defense out on the field, which is an interesting decision, Mark, considering that just a couple of weeks ago, A&M's defense did not look particularly good against A&T.
Well, I thought, you know, having watched that game for a couple of weeks, Dwayne, I think their defense was solid. They just got worn down, and I think that might be a critical component in terms of as we watch this game evolve. If Hampton is going to be successful, I think they have to run the ball physically between the tackles. I mean, when you look at the size of their offensive line, they're averaging somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 pounds. Meanwhile, Florida A&M is a little light in the front seven, and, you know, unless they fall in love with the passing attack, chances are they could wear down FAMU's front seven.
Armstrong Stadium holds 17,000. We expect more to trickle in as the day begins. Not too far away from here, Norfolk State is holding its homecoming. And we understand that not a few of the folks attending that game, which started a couple of hours early, will be making their way over here for what is a big, big game in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Florida A&M comes in ranked 23rd in Division I, the 1AA poll.
Well, if you think there's not an edge to this contest, with the bling bling on the line, or the chance at it anyway. Should have been on the field prior to contest.
Well, Coach Taylor told us yesterday when we visited with him that his team would have a dramatically different mood depending upon what happens at the end of this game, and the same can be said for Florida A&M. Because after today, you have a lot to play for, or you're simply playing out the string. And we are set to get underway. Nesbitt kick, fielded by Hales, who makes it just over the 15-yard line before he's knocked down. And that's where Hampton University will take over, and the youngster, Timothy Frazier, will bring them out onto the field.
Very talented young fella. He passed for 234 yards last week, a couple of touchdowns, no interceptions, and I think that is really what is going to make Hampton a very tough team down the last month of the season. Mr. Frazier's ability to stretch defenses vertically with a lot more consistency than his predecessor.
6'2", 200-pound sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland. Second career start for young Frazier. 1st and 10. Ball at the 15, pitch to Smith, who is stopped by Carlos Moore.
Robert Smith on the carry.
Take a look at the men that will be catching and running the ball today for Hampton. Smith, Barnes, Smith, Compton, and Blount.
Well, Smith is really the one who has to make it happen.
That offensive line, a big one. Henderson, Steiner, Clement, Cheatham, and McCall.
McCall, the only senior. He has the anchor in this critical game.
On 2nd and 10 from the 16. Well, the defenders that will be doing the job for Florida A&M, led by Nakia Bynum on that play. Take a look at the defensive line. Scott, Brown, Edwards, Coleman.
And these guys played real well last week, but they wore down a couple of weeks ago in Greensboro.
3rd down. Ball at the 19, out of the shotgun. Frazier has a receiver. It's Smith, had some running room. Avoids a couple of tacklers before he is finally knocked down. Good enough for a 1st down.
Zuriel Smith showing us something that is more commonplace at the FAMU wide receiving position. Look, taking the little flanker screen. He's got a couple of blockers out there in front of him, doing an excellent job racking up the yards. Rack as in RAC, running after the catch.
That good enough for a 1st down. Pirates on the move at the 36-yard line. Timothy Frazier off to Smith over the right side. Maybe 4 yards, where he is corralled by Levy Brown. And there's a man's name you will hear a lot during this contest. He leads Florida A&M with 62 tackles coming into this game, a couple of interceptions.
And as you can see, Hampton quickening the pace. They don't want FAMU's defense to have a chance to settle. This is something that the Rattler offense has been doing to opposition defenses all season. The no huddle to keep them off balance.
Both of these teams use a no huddle. 2nd and 6. Smith, very little on that one. Take a look at the men that will back up the down linemen for Florida A&M, Bynum, Fortson, and Copeland.
Fortson has 10 tackles for loss this season to go along with 5 sacks.
And the secondary, Doe, Hart, Moore, and Brown.
Well, Levy Brown, as you said, 5th in the conference in tackles with 52. He leads Florida A&M.
That sets up 3rd and 3 from the 45. Frazier throwing, has a receiver, and it's Atavius Cash on the reception. Interesting story there. Many of you remember him. He had been the quarterback for most of the season.
Yeah, he opened the season as a starting quarterback, but as Coach Taylor told me today, he's their version of Slash, in reference to Cordell Stewart, who struggled at quarterback and had to learn that position in Pittsburgh as a receiver. So that means Hampton now has a Slash Cash.
That brings up 4th down, brings on the punting unit. Tellis Bolden punts it away to Brown, and it will roll out of bounds at about the 32-yard line, which is where Florida A&M and the record-setting Quinn Gray will take over.
Well, Gray, you know, a malign Quinn Gray. I don't think he's been appreciated enough in Tallahassee, but he truly has had a brilliant career, and he understands what's on the line. And if you needed a guy to be at the helm of your offense down a critical stretch, Helps to have a guy that has 2 big conference championship rings on his fingers.
He already owns 3 career passing marks at Florida A&M. Needs just 1 more touchdown pass to take over sole possession of #1 on the FAMU list. On 1st and 10, Gray and the Rattlers at the 35-yard line. That is O.J. Marchbanks. Take a look at the men that will be supporting Gray in the backfield and at the wide-out positions. Talented crew of receivers: Marchbanks, Brown, Bowe, Junius, and Allen.
Isaac Brown with 41 receptions on the season, averaging just over 11 yards. He definitely knows how to run after the catch.
2nd and 8 from the 35. Gray has a man open. Room to run. Isaac Brown dancing. What a touchdown run and a bit of maneuvering by Isaac Brown. Florida A&M strikes first.
Right on cue. We talked about Isaac Brown's ability to make something happen after the catch. This is just a tremendous individual effort. I mean, he squared off the pattern in the center of the field and found the soft area. But after that, it was just a series of terrific moves. Gray with great time up front, and you see he just finds the seam right there in between a couple of defensive backs. He has Marco Junius out there throwing a block. I think he picks up Coleman, and 63 yards later, it's a touchdown. So a very auspicious beginning for the Rattlers.
Juan Vasquez on for the extra point. It is good, and Florida A&M strikes first. The Rattlers bite, sting, 7-0. They go up a 63-yard strike from Quinn Gray to Isaac Brown, and the Hampton Pirates cannot believe what that man, #2, just did to their defensive unit.
Boy, that was just a terrific run after the catch for Brown. I mean, he just made a series of moves that just really shook 3 of the more competent tacklers in the conference for his 2nd TD of the year.
5'9", 170-pound senior from Baton Rouge. It took 2 plays and 65 yards, 36 seconds for the Rattlers to strike. That man has to figure something out to slow them down.
Well, he's got to get his defensive backs to come up and make tackles. You know, it was funny how I thought coming into this contest, granted, both of these teams are near the top in passing. I thought they had to establish the run, and FAMU scores.
Lennon Nesbitt set to kick off. You just saw Joe Taylor a moment ago. He's in his 10th season at Hampton. 82, 29-1. 72 graduate of Western Illinois. Hales awaits the kickoff of Nesbitt, probably thinking to himself, deja vu. We just did this a short while ago.
All over again, right?
Taylor, president of the American Football Coaches Association, winning seasons in 8 of his 9 years at Hampton.
And he's also going to be coaching the South squad, which will feature Maurice Hicks of North Carolina A&T in the Hula Bowl.
And Taylor's own defensive lineman, Leon Scott, will be a member of that South staff. Nesbitt with the kickoff. And this time, Christopher Parker elects not to running out. Our National Car Rental scoring drive. Rattlers picture of efficiency, collecting their 7 points. 2 plays, 65 yards, Mark. Look at that time.
I mean, that's just it's not exactly the way that Hampton wanted things to start, to say the least, but I think that ball control is going to be the key. When you have 2 big play offenses, the team that's able to establish some kind of flow consistently has a better chance of winning this contest. Hampton down, I don't think they're out.
Timothy Frazier, 21 of 32, 259 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Rolling out, looking for a receiver. Has time to throw. And it's David Blount, the tight end, on the reception.
Now, Frazier is not known as the most mobile of the Hampton quarterbacks, but he does a good job at that time getting outside the pocket, rolling, and just giving Blount an opportunity to just come across the field and work himself open to make that catch.
That brings up 2nd and 1. And it's Robert Smith breaking into the secondary. Carlos Moore, one of those trying to corral him. Along with Alex Fortson.
Well, Smith, who's averaging just over 3.5 yards, just goes right up the gut. That's that A-gap. And FAMU is a little soft up in that area. That's where Maurice Hicks was able to do much of his damage a couple of weeks ago in Greensboro.
This time it's Hales, who was hit initially by Moore, but wards that off before he is gang tackled just inside the 45-yard line.
When you run to the outside, Dwayne, you play into the hands of the quickness of the FAMU linebacker. See, it's a sweep coming right at you, and if you don't seal him to the inside, you'll see Messrs. Fortson, then Copeland. They'll just step up there, Troy Hart in there, and they'll just greet the receiver while he gets to the outside. Too quick.
Frazier so far 3 for 3. This time is Smith again, breaking into the secondary, has a first down, and he wrestles with Troy Hart before Hart finally convinces him to go down.
And somebody lost the helmet in there wearing the orange and white. I mean, man, it's physical. See, they're going right up the gut, and I think that's what you have to do. You can't go outside against Florida A&M. The traps and the mano-a-mano battles up front are ones I think with that 300 pounds they can win.
Smith again over the right side, pick up of maybe 3. Smith is the only player on this team in the offensive backfield that has over 100 carries so far this season. Came into the game with 118.
Well, he's a bit of a bruiser, and he certainly has emerged since we saw him last in Howard. 33 yards already in just 5 carries for Mr. Smith.
5'10", 205-pound senior from Detroit, Michigan. Timothy Frazier, talented sophomore. On 2nd and 10. It's Smith again over the left side. This time, the Rattlers respond. And
again, you see it was that sweep action off tackle where they were trying to get to the outside with the back, but Hampton at this point, or in the early stages of the first quarter, they're not able to seal Florida A&M to the inside. That renders the sweep almost meaningless.
8:46 to go in the first quarter. Florida A&M leading 7-0. Hampton trying to respond with the ball. Tim Frazier is dropped, fumbled the ball. Carlos Moore tracks it down, has running room in front of him. This time the defense strikes for the Rattlers, and once again the Pirates are stung.
Frazier could not feel the pressure coming from the backside, Dwayne, and there was a blown assignment which allows Alex Fortson to put the big-time stick on Frazier, and as the ball lays there live, Carlos Moore picks it up, and he's got a convoy to take him to the house. And wow, just like that, Florida A&M is up by 2 scores, and we've barely played a half a quarter. Wow.
Vasquez on for the extra point. Opportunity to make it 14-0. It is good. Florida A&M now leads 14-0. Couple of big plays for the Rattlers. They have turned them into a couple of touchdowns. 42-yard score on this play as Alex Fortson and the defensive unit scramble for 6.
Is your small business experiencing growing pains? The U.S. Postal Service has tools to help your small business manage shipping costs. Whether your packages are big or small, domestic or international, the U.S. Postal Service, helping small business to deliver the American dream.
I told my father I wanted to grow up to be a teacher. Wouldn't you rather be a doctor? He said. It's a noble profession and you could become wealthy. That may be true, I said. But without teachers, where would doctors come from?
Welcome back to Armstrong Stadium here at Hampton University. Alex Fortune making himself felt there as his play helped 6 more ring up for Florida A&M. Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, Florida A&M second in sacks.
And that'll
25.
be, sack number 6, which would, I guess, qualify as the 11th tackle for loss in the season for Mr. Fortson, leads to 6 points. He should get an assist.
Lennon Nesbitt's kickoff will be fielded by Christopher Parker out of the end zone. Around the right side. Still has some running room. Parker still on his feet, hauled down at the 32-yard line.
Boy, the ebb and flow of this game is reminiscent of the kind of game that we had a couple of weeks ago, the last time we were here, Dwayne. I mean, when you think about it, it's like whatever can go wrong, whatever that can go wrong does go wrong for Florida A&M when they see the blue and gold in Greensboro. Conversely, the same thing is happening with Hampton when they see the green and white of FAMU.
Well, it's up to this young man, Timothy Frazier, the sophomore, who's getting his second career start, to settle the Pirates offense and get it moving. They trail 14-0 at home, 8:14 to go in the first quarter. Championship race implications are abounding in this game. Robert Smith is stopped and hard.
Robert Smith on the carry. Joe
Sanders
on the stop.
Boy, I tell you, FAMU's a little pumped, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. And this Hampton offensive line's got to be the biggest in the MEAC, averaging about 315 pounds across the front, and they got to do a better job. I mean, you're that big going against the undersized D front. Those kind of breakdowns shouldn't happen.
Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin with you from Hampton, Virginia. Atavius Cash, the former quarterback, well, still quarterback, now receiver, is in. Frazier, who's under pressure, gets it off to Smith, who catches it, but boy, were the Rattlers bearing down on Timothy Frazier. Very little protection right now.
Yeah, there's some major missed assignments which could lead Frazier to the bench, needing some medical attention. See, it's a jailbreak up the middle. A couple of guys missed assignments. Maybe it was set up that way, but Frazier couldn't deliver the strike with any confidence. See, nobody picks up in the interior of the line, so he's just left back there on his own trying to make something happen, and nothing was there.
Cash is in the game, as we mentioned, number 10, lining up in the slot. Coaches told us yesterday he's too valuable not to use. Frazier again under pressure. Carlos Moore on the safety blitz. Frazier goes down, and there is a marker on the field also.
Well, Stephen Henderson is taking a whipping right now. The left tackle for Hampton, he's just taking a beat down. It's just getting real ugly. He is being taken to school as though some professor here at this great institution is holding a laboratory assignment on the weekend. I mean, it's just ugly.
Our officials, referee Chuck Williams, Lamont Mahone, Elmo Gray, James Jackson, Dave Jones.
Face mask against the defense. Incidental, 5 yard from the line of scrimmage. Repeat, 3rd down.
Let's take a look at the replay, Dwayne, and see if we can find the face mask. Was it on Frazier? Well, it certainly wasn't on anybody that was bringing it. Well, at the very end. At the very end. And Taylor is showing a good ability to lobby and give his team another play. But again, unless the big fellas up front do a better job locking things down, it's going to be a long afternoon for number 12.
3rd and 11 at the 27-yard line for Tim Frazier and the Hampton Pirates. They trail 14-0. Frazier rolling out, has Zuriel Smith, who's one-on-one against Troy Hart, and gets by him. First down for Hampton. Carlos Moore.
Big reception. Carlos Moore on the stop.
And Cedric James combining on the tackle.
Well, Zuriel Smith is 6'2" and 180 pounds, and a lot stronger than his lanky body looks. Tim Frazier, when he gets outside of the pocket, is a much better passer than Cash. Look at his accuracy. He's just surveying, and this is a strike on the run. Completes it, and then watch the broken tackle here. 3 guys have a shot.
On 1st and 10, Carlton Morant
On the big carry.
breaks off a big one and gets Hampton down inside the red zone.
Big play. Now Hampton skills players, with Frazier getting a little bit more time, are able to play mano a mano in the secondary against FAMU's defensive backs, and they're winning those battles right now.
Morant, that helped his average a lot today. He's up to 45 yards on 2 carries. Smith over the right side. Couple of yards.
Robert Smith on the carry. Ben Coleman on the stop.
Yeah, Ben Coleman steps up from his right end position and makes that tackle. But it was a shoestring tackle at best. And he and John Edwards were almost pancaked. They did do a good job of stopping the play and allowing the linebackers to come up and finish.
2nd and 7 for the Hampton Pirates, trailing 14-0. Robert Smith, very little doing for him. He's wrapped up quickly by Nakia Bynum.
On the carry, Nakia Bynum.
And that's a play that just started because of the quickness of the FAMU front 7. Just able to shut down Hampton's O-line at the point of attack. I mean, they're getting no surge at all. You would figure with their edge and girth, they'd be able to move something. It's just not happening right now.
3rd and 7, ball at the 11 for Hampton. Tim Frazier rolling out again, gets a block from Smith, throwing towards the end zone. That was nearly intercepted, knocked away by Levi Brown.
Yeah, he was going in the direction of Mike Compton that time and just didn't put enough mustard on it. Tried to throw him that little touch pass. It looks like it's an out pattern to the corner of the end zone, might have even been a post corner. And as he tries to roll, it looks like Florida A&M, however, is going into the wind. There's a significant wind here at Armstrong Stadium this afternoon, Dwayne, and when you're moving in the direction that they are moving right now, it appears that the wind is blowing, is swirling in that direction.
Tellis Bolden comes in on 4th down to attempt a field goal. And the Pirates do get on the board, not the 6 they wanted, 3, but they have registered. Thanks to Tellis Bolden. 27-yard field goal. The Pirates are now on the board. They trail 14-3.
Can you say pigskin? It's time to get down and dirty with the Dodge Florida High School Champion Series. Jackson and Miami Northwestern. Sunday at 1 on Sunshine.
Playing this month on Dish on Demand pay-per-view.
Where did you get this stuff? I can't feel my face. This is business.
Hello. Is this Clarice? Hello, Clarice.
They're all dirty, but I need your help to prove it.
Promise I would always be my brother's keeper.
I am a hostage?
Oh, no!
El Camino. Tonight, pick up your remote instead of your car keys. Order a pay-per-view movie from Dish on Demand.
When you have money problems, just going to the mailbox can be frightening. It's the same when the phone rings. You know it's another creditor. I thought bankruptcy was the only way out. Then I called AmeriDebt.
Every day, AmeriDebt helps more people with money problems. We're a nonprofit organization offering free consultations to consumers seeking to eliminate their debt.
Now my balances are dropping, and I only have one small monthly payment.
Call this number regardless of your situation. AmeriDebt, helping America get out of debt.
Noon in Hampton, Virginia, the Florida A&M Rattlers on top of Hampton, 14-3, 4:53 to go in the first quarter. Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin here as Tellis Bolden of Hampton kicks off after his 27-yard field goal. Mark, you were saying that Hampton has to keep the offense of Florida A&M off the field.
Yeah, and it really starts up front with the big nasties. The O-line's got to step up their play right now if you're a Hampton Pirate fan. They're just getting beat at the point of attack. They're being out-quickened, and that can't make Joe Taylor happy right now when he's got an offensive line that's averaging about 315 pounds per man.
Dead ball. Free kick in front. Free kick out against the kickers. Florida A&M has elected to take the ball on the 35-yard line. First down.
Referee Chuck Williams. Joe Taylor's defensive unit will have to figure out a way to stop Quinn Gray and that high-octane offense of Florida A&M. Our National Car Rental scoring drive, 8 plays, 57 yards, 28-yard field goal. Lordius out of the backfield for Florida A&M, stopped by Travis Oliver. So far in the game, Florida A&M with just under 70 yards total offense, Hampton 104 yards.
Game plan is working, just breakdowns by individuals thwarting their efforts.
2nd and 10 from the 35. And Tremaine Hughes was not interested in seeing any forward progress on that play.
Boy, that's a good job of Alonzo Lee calling the run blitz at the time. Hughes, his hole opens right up. He's going to fill that hole. Watch. They call a run blitz. He's not blocked. I think Shedrick Moulton might have checked that. Kenneth Jones missed him, and that allows Hughes to come right through there. See, Jones is the center, number 70. He blocks to the inside. Right to the outside of him is Hughes, and he brings Lordius down.
Loss of 2 on the play. Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 12. Gray looking long. And it is tipped away by Travis Oliver.
Oliver doing a good job in underneath coverage of that cover 2 or the 2 deep zone. There was help underneath and over the top, and Quinn Gray has ample time in a nice lane to sit in the pocket and look at the meat cleaver go up right there. The help underneath, Coleman right there to swat that play away. Check that, Oliver.
First time this afternoon we see T.J. Smith punting away to Zuriel Smith, and it will be out of bounds. 34-yard line of Hampton. The Pirates will take over. They have some work to do. They've allowed a couple of big plays, both on offense and defense, resulting in 14 points for Florida A&M. Hampton has 3. They'll try to get more.
As a National Car Rental Emerald Club member, you can bypass the counter, which saves time. Take the car of your choice, which saves time. And now when Emerald Club members return their car, National will fill it up at self-serve prices, which saves money and time. You see, if we can give you back even 43 minutes, then we've done our job. 43 minutes. How will you spend it? The Emerald Club from National.
You can go your own way. Go your own way.
How fast can you make brilliant color prints in your office? With a Xerox Phaser 2135 color printer, you can make 21 color prints per minute. That's more than 3 times faster than HP's fastest color laser printer. Hey, catch us if you can. The Phaser 2135, one of the family of Xerox network printers.
The U.S. Postal Service comes to your business so that your business can go further, here and across the globe. Your clients benefit from the time and money you save. At a single website, you will find the tools you need for controlling shipping costs, obtaining postage, verifying deliveries.
You're not leaving?
No, I'm staying, in case one of your clients needs me.
The U.S. Postal Service. Tools for small business.
Back at Armstrong Stadium in Hampton University, where the Hampton Pirates trail 14-3 on this brisk Saturday afternoon in Hampton, Virginia. Pirates beginning their drive at the 32-yard line. Sophomore Tim Frazier throwing, looking for Zuriel Smith. Overthrows him badly. It's very nearly intercepted by Levi Brown.
Well, Moore was back there in coverage as this pass was in the general direction of Mike Compton, but he was a bit overzealous and early too.
Frazier so far in this game, 6 of 7, 76 yards passing. Referee Chuck Williams with the call.
Not exactly the picture-perfect pass. It was high, but Moore was out there in coverage, and that pass was almost picked up by Levi Brown.
Defense. First down from the spot of the foul.
Frazier should feel very fortunate considering where he threw the ball and the fact that he comes away with a first down.
He looks like a quarterback right now that might be just a little bit too pumped. I mean, it's the biggest game he's played in his college career right now, and he may have to work himself now into rhythm.
That moves the ball to the Hampton 46-yard line. First down, Zuriel Smith in motion. The give is to Robert Smith, who was bottled up. Edwards appeared to be the first man there. A host of Rattlers joining him.
But again, up front, the Hampton O-line not getting off the ball for whatever reason. I mean, that play looks like it's designed to go between Jelani Clement and Patrick Cheatham, the center and the right guard, and just defeated at the point of attack. I mean, just oh so slow at attacking the guys in front.
2nd and 8 from the 47. Smith set back, looking long. And that's intercepted by Levi Brown. Zerreel Smith was the intended receiver.
Well, I think the pressure forced Tim Frazier to force a pass into triple coverage that time. Levi Brown is able to pick up his 3rd INT of the season, and he won't have one placed in there any easier than that. Now watch the pressure. They tried to play action fake, but looks like Morris is being down on him. Nah, he had enough time to survey. That's just a forced pass into a situation that led to devastating results for the Pirates.
And Florida A&M takes over at its own 12-yard lines. Out of the shotgun is Quinn Gray. They've taken advantage of one turnover already. He's flushed out of the pocket, throws it away in the direction of Isaac Brown.
That pressure was coming from Woodson from the backside.
Gray, on his first touchdown pass of the day, the one to Isaac Brown, became the all-time leader in touchdown passes at Florida A&M.
And this time the pressure forces him out of the pocket. But see, that's the presence of Quinn Gray, recognizing he must have felt the pressure from the backside, and he saw that his receiver Brown was covered, so he threw it into the turf.
And that's what an upperclassman and a veteran leadership will do for you. Good decision. 2nd and 10 from the 17. Gray out of the shotgun, leading 14-3, 2:47 to go in the first quarter. Big game in the conference. Has a receiver across the middle. DeMar Bowe, Stanley Autry on the tackle.
Well, there's several NFL scouts here, and they've got to like seeing a linebacker able to stay with a guy as quick as DeMar Bowe in pass coverage. But if FAMU can continue that type of isolation, it could be a long afternoon here in Hampton.
Bowe with a team high 4 touchdowns coming into the game. Gray on the pitch is Marchbanks. And there is considerable meeting of body and matter on that play.
Yeah, there was some an immovable object running into an immovable force, and the result is this type of collision. Boy, football ain't for the faint of heart.
Darrell Diab saying hello to O.J. Marchbanks. Quinn Gray and the Florida A&M Rattlers looking for more. 2nd and 5. Gray across the middle to Isaac Brown, who's open again at the 50-yard line, where he's brought down by Vincent Lewis and Travis Oliver.
Boy, that Isaac Brown just running across the middle once again, finding the soft area in their zone, which is right in the middle of the field. And if he's isolated one-on-one, Hampton hasn't figured out how to bring him down.
Brown also came into the game with a team-high 38 receptions, 5'9", 170-pound senior from Baton Rouge. Has his 2nd touchdown already under his belt of the season. Gray out of the shotgun under pressure and throws it away. Bearing down on him and hard was Greg Scott.
Well, there are a couple of scouts from the Redskins and the Buffalo Bills that are here in town to check out Mr. Scott. And boy, he almost gave him a sack. I mean, he just came unadulterated off the end that time and had a clean shot by on Quinn Gray. But again, the senior, feeling the pressure from the backside, knows that a play's not out there, so he just throws it away.
And that's a lot of pressure to feel. Scott is 6'5", 260 pounds. Gray, so far in this game, 3 of 6, 99 yards. 2nd and 10 on this drive. Ball at the 49-yard line. Started at the 11. Florida A&M leading 14-3. Gray, Junius nearly got it, had to go up and get it. Couldn't quite get there. Willie Bennett defending on the play.
Well, he felt the pressure that time and made a hot read. And Bo was the hot, check that, was it Junius he went in the direction of? Marco Junius, he went in the direction of with the blitz bearing down on him. And he gave his receiver a chance to make the catch. So numbers not impressive to this point, but Gray doing a solid job directing the Rattler O.
3rd and 10. Florida A&M with the lead, looking to remain alive for a second straight Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference championship. Quinn Gray didn't like something he saw, appeared to be checking off, decides he wants to talk to Coach Billy Joel's staff about what is going on.
Well, they must have given him a wrinkle that they hadn't seen, or he didn't have the personnel in there for, because FAMU's doing a good job mixing their run plays and their pass plays, and let's check out how they're getting it done.
This is what has happened so far, folks. The 14 points for Florida A&M have come via big plays, Mark.
And this was the first passing play of the afternoon for the Rattlers. It's Quinn Gray hooking up with Isaac Brown. And look at these moves. Look like Dwayne Ballin on the dance floor. Look at him, taking it to the house. And then a sack from the backside by Alex Fortson, the fumble recovery by Carlos Moore, and 42 yards later, the Rattlers were up 14-0. FAMU, 101 total yards in the afternoon. Hampton has 106, yet they trail by 11.
Well, it's not necessarily the quantity, it's the quality. And that's what's going on right now.
Well, Hampton's defense, it would appear right now, is going to have to step up and make a big play, similar to the one that Florida A&M made with the sack by Fortson and the recovery and touchdown run by Moore. If their defense doesn't stem the tide here, could be a very, very long day by the Bay.
Gray has discussed matters back on the field with the Rattlers. 3rd and 10 from the 49. 1:49 to go in the first quarter from Armstrong Field. Gray, time to throw. And that one was simply overthrown. It was in the general direction of DeMar Bowe.
Well, you can see the jaw-jacking beginning down there, but FAMU really didn't have a chance that time because they bunched up in a tight formation and they went deep with only one receiver in the pattern, and he was blanketed. I think FAMU's play call took the pressure off the Hampton defense.
That brings on T.J. Smith. Travis Coleman back to receive the punt.
And he's one of the nation's best.
Nearly blocked.
I think he got a piece of it. That's not a good decision by Coleman. That cost him about 5-10 yards.
Well, it was Travis Oliver that got in there quickly on the punt by T.J. Smith.
Well, if Coleman had that one back, I'm sure he would have went on and fielded it at least on the bounce. Now, Coleman gets in there and is bearing down. You check that Travis Oliver is in there. Look, he lays out, and he does, in fact, get a piece of it, but not quite enough to block the kick. So nothing going well for Hampton right now.
1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Tim Frazier in trouble, scrambles, and goes down.
I think that was a designed flanker screen. He was trying to get the ball to Compton, and he rolled out. But FAMU's defense does a good job, staying at home. The principles almost of playing against the wishbone, where you just stay at home, keep your man, and he had nobody to throw that ball to, so he had to eat it.
2nd and 7, ball at the 15-yard line. Robert Smith out of the backfield, and he's stopped by Carlos Moore and Cedric Copeland.
Well, again, I think Hampton has to attack Florida A&M right up the middle. I mean, you have to go at him. You have to trap him, counter-tray him, you know, lead, whatever. You got to play physical against this team. Finesse offenses just aren't going to work against Florida A&M's defensive unit.
So far, Frazier 6 of 8, 76 yards, has a touch interception so far. Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 4. Stretching out for it, but not quite getting to it, is Michael Compton.
And the reason that Compton is not able to haul it in is because Frazier has to let this pass go early because of some relentless pressure coming up the middle from Carlos Moore. See, they pick up Fortson, but that leaves the hole wide open for 24 Moore there to get in and put the lick on Tim Frazier. See, he can see it coming, and he's going to just try to lay it out there and give his receiver a chance to just go after there and get it, and it's just over the outstretched arms. Look at him. He's going to extend himself, and it's going to be just long.
Tellis Bolden on to punt it away, and the ball will fall and be downed at the 45-yard line of Hampton. That's where the Florida A&M Rattlers will take over with 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. Here in our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week, Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin here. This is one of those pivotal games in regards to what happens with the conference championship. Neither one of these teams can afford another loss.
Yeah, it's round one of the 2001 MEAC Elimination Tournament. For all intents and purposes, you lose today, you count down to National High School Recruit Signing Day.
Quinn Gray and the Florida A&M Gulf Coast offense accounting for 7 points. Defensive unit another 7. Looking for more, 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line of Hampton. Marchbanks, Lordius, the setbacks. It's Lordius, the second man in, over the left side, still on his feet before he's gang tackled.
And as we go out of this first quarter, Dwayne, you can see there's Quinn Gray. You know, oftentimes quarterbacks check into pass plays. Quinn Gray has done an admirable job over the last few weeks making the right checks to run plays.
It's partly cloudy for Hampton right now over Armstrong Field. The
defensive coordinator Alonzo Lee before the game on Quinn Gray, and he said that they've got to put a lot of pressure up front on him and that they wanted to keep him throwing off his back foot, and they wanted to show him a lot of different looks. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Donna. Quinn Gray, 148 of 227 for 1,851 yards before this game began, 14 touchdowns. #1 in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference in passing. And he's trying to get more for his Rattlers. On 2nd and 8, as a receiver, it's Allen, who's met by Willie Bennett and a couple of other Pirates. Close to a first down.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, I think he got the first down, but you want to talk about paying for it. That's getting a first down the old-fashioned way by earning it. And as you can see, good pocket presence once again by Gray, releases it, and right as his receiver gets into the soft area of the zone, and then watch this, well, you couldn't see that last punishing tackle, which ultimately brought Allen to the turf.
Gray's numbers 4 of 9, 107 yards so far out of the shotgun. He's looking to add to those totals. Has Isaac Brown, but this time responding quickly is Vincent Lewis.
Lewis, who's averaging over 7 tackles a game, is a sure-handled, aggressive, physical hitter. And he put a stick that time on Brown.
That sets up first down at the 31-yard line. Check that, 2nd down at the 31-yard line for the Rattlers.
Seems like everything coming with ease for Florida A&M. Hampton having to earn every inch.
Early in the second quarter, Quinn Gray out of the shotgun. Flags are down. There seem to be some eager feet along the interior line. Well, Gray and his offensive unit got off to a big start early on with a big pass play to Isaac Brown, and the defense responded when Alex Fortson forced Frazier into a fumble. Carlos Moore picked it up and returned it for a touchdown. But since then, Hampton really has pretty much held the Rattlers in check.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. This is a critical drive.
Dead ball prior to the snap, delay of game, defense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. It remains 2nd down.
Now, Dwayne, how many times do you see that called, delay of game on the defense?
I must admit that's something very rare.
Okay, I just thought it was me. You know, I'm not the cultured one in the booth. Defer all culture to you.
2nd and short for the Rattlers. Gray under pressure, has Isaac Brown open. Boy, is he hit hard by Vincent Lewis.
Vincent Lewis knocked his own helmet off. Wow! Check that. Darul Diab came across the middle, and it was like he was just sort of like he had the radar up, and he just bears in on Brown. See, Gray not able to get enough juice on it because he couldn't step up in the pocket on account of the pressure. And we still got some shenanigans going on the turf. But again, Gray wasn't able to step in the pocket to deliver that ball with enough velocity to get it to his receiver. And boy, did Isaac Brown pay for it.
Take another look at Mr. Diab's hit on Isaac Brown.
Boy, he met the ball. He met the receiver at the same time that the ball got there. Perfect defense. Post pattern was open. I mean, he did have a step.
We mentioned it's an important day in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. This is not the only game with bearing directly on the championship race. See some of our action today. Mark, which one really stands out to you, or need I ask?
Let's see. It's definitely not Howard Norfolk. And Marsh Brown isn't in the conference, so it must be Bethune-Cookman hosting A&T on homecoming.
3rd and 2. Gray's pass nearly intercepted by Willie Bennett.
And there was the big play. There was the big play that Hampton needed to get the momentum back on their side. I mean, not a great pass by Gray, and it looked like the intended receiver in this particular situation was Bennett, who just jumps the coverage. The pass intended for Junius, got to haul that one in. Game like this with the season, for all intents and purposes, on the line, you got to haul them in.
The Rattlers elect to go for it on 4th and 2, and the ball is intercepted by Travis Oliver.
And one play later, they get the big play. Oliver stems the tide on Florida A&M's offense, which coming in had been operating at 50% efficiency on 4th down conversions, and Oliver just steps in front of the receiver and picks it off. See, Gray once again throwing off the back foot like Donna was talking about. Gray throwing off the back foot, it leads to a dying quail, and it's picked off, and Hampton regains some semblance of momentum.
The first turnover of the game for Florida A&M. That brings Timothy Frazier back out with the Pirates out of the shotgun. He throws to Atavius Cash, who was tackled by Carlos Moore. Not a lot on that play. Cash, we mentioned, quarterback who hurt himself a few weeks ago, high and low ankle sprain. He was replaced in the lineup by Timothy Frazier, and coaches told us Frazier was a different man the week preparing for his first start when he knew he was going to start, just a different type player. He looked like a starter.
Well, you can see that they're putting a Copeland in there on Cash, so Billy Joe understanding how dangerous he is.
Frazier on 2nd and 11, under pressure, running away. There's a marker in the backfield as he throws it away, and also a flag down near the point of the pass going out of bounds. 2 flags. Let's see what shakes out.
Downfield, definitely Sequan Doe was holding Zuriel Smith, but I think they're going to rule that an uncatchable ball, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not Hampton is going to be flagged back around the line of scrimmage.
We'll wait for the word from referee Chuck Williams.
Yeah, that second flag will be insignificant. It'll be waved off.
Well, that will go against Hampton.
Let's check out the hole right here. Looks like that's big number 63, Patrick Cheatham right there, the 300-pound sophomore. Now, see, this is the interference right here that's not called. You can't touch him after 5 yards. So there was definitely some holding on going on
against the defense. We also have an uncatchable pass. That flag was picked up. It's 3rd down.
So that sets up a 3rd and 11 situation. Ball on the 22-yard line for Hampton, which trails 14-3, 12:56 to go in our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference game of the week. Tim Frazier at quarterback, the sophomore for Hampton, his 2nd start. And there seems to be a bit of confusion down on the field.
Just a bit.
Joe Taylor, hopefully on his way, as he said, to his
okay. I'm thoroughly confused now, and once again, we defer to the culture things with you, sir. It's your world.
In due time, all things will work themselves out, as they do here. 3rd and 11, ball at the 22, and a very eager Sean Kelly makes his way into the offensive backfield of Hampton. Right now, both teams are out of sync.
Oh, just a little. I think the emotion, the edge of a game like this with your entire season and all those suicides and the time spent in the weight room.
Dead ball. Prior to the snap. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. It remains 3rd down.
And I think that edge, Dwayne, is leading to everybody's game just being a little off kilter.
It's interesting. Our microphones down on the field just picked up one of the coaches yelling out, "Don't let them take you out of your game." Frazier on third down, looking long, and it is intercepted.
Troy Hart, look out. He's gone.
One more man to beat. Touchdown, Florida A&M, the second time the defensive unit has come through for 6.
Boy, and Hampton's got to be really, really concerned because downfield there were a couple of guys that looked like they had a shot at Hart, who I don't think really went after him aggressively at all. And Hart just back there playing center field. Throwing off the back foot was Frazier. Hart, nice over-the-shoulder catch, gets a couple of blocks. You see Cash was trying to track him down from the backside. Nice move there, and Frazier was in the end zone and couldn't make the tackle.
A 50-yard return for touchdown by Troy Hart, and Florida A&M's defensive unit very offensive in this first half here at Armstrong Stadium. Juan Vasquez on for the extra point. It is blocked. And the Pirates are attempting to return it. Tremaine Hughes, the linebacker, turned into a running back, got it to the 20-yard line. It's Troy Hart returning one 50 yards to help Florida A&M pad their lead 23.
And we played against him last year. Did a great job in a supporting role. And we're very, very concerned about Tim Frazier. He throws the ball extremely well. He has great running skills, outstanding maneuverability, super elusiveness, and he can make big plays. He can do things on his own, and we're very concerned about that.
So far, Billy Joel's concerns have been met and well. His team has responded as they have held Tim Frazier very much in check so far. Juan Vasquez on again for the extra point. This one hits a crossbar, bounces back into the end zone, and it's dead. So it's 20-3. Florida A&M leads Hampton.
Well, Vasquez just having a very, very bad season to this point, and even given a second chance at a blocked field goal. I mean, he at a blocked extra point. He's only 2 of 8 this season on field goal attempts, and 0 for 6 beyond the 30-yard mark. But even in extra points, the guy that everybody talked about as the best kicker in the conference coming into this season, he's only 23 of 28 on PATs, and this kid made some big-time kicks last year. As a matter of fact, his toe was the toe that led them to the championship last year. I mean, his 40-some-yard field goal in the Florida Classic won the title for him. He's just not getting it done this year for whatever reason. What? He's just going to push it outside, and you got to be pretty good to hit the crossbar, though. You ought to get at least a half an extra point for that. I know people practice kicking it through the crossbars and can't do it, so if you hit the crossbar, don't you think that's worth something? And fittingly enough, it's a gray day in Hampton, and Quinn Gray is really going off.
Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin with you from Hampton, Virginia. Our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference game of the week. The Hampton Pirates are waiting the kickoff from Lennon Nesbitt. They trail 23. Florida A&M has taken advantage of big plays. Terrence Patrick fielding the ball. He breaks out of the sidelines, gets back towards the middle of the field before he's corralled down.
If Copeland doesn't get him, check that Edward Baker, a reserve running back. He's got a whole side of the field with nobody. See, the kick that time, it must have been a kick right. And all the blockers push, check that to the left, and they're sealed over there. See Baker right there? He's the last line of defense.
And interesting now, as we take a look at the quarterback position for Hampton, Latavius Cash is in, Tim Frazier is out. So Mark Gray, coach, that move, explain it to us.
Maybe he just wants to set Tim Frazier down just a little bit. Like I said before, I thought he looked like he was a bit too hyped. He was too jacked up to start this contest. Granted, he did complete 6 of his first 7 passes, but the O-line up front really didn't do a lot to help him. And Cash is a far more dangerous quarterback with his legs than he is with his arm. And of course, the offensive lineman that is down for the Pirates right now. It really doesn't look good, and that could definitely adversely affect their offensive attack. Looks like that's the reserve. Is that Darian Barnes, the fullback?
6'2", 250-pound junior from Plainfield, New Jersey. 1 touchdown this year. At least he's up on his feet. That's always a good sign. Barnes is walking off under his own power. Noticeable limp.
Well, again, Dwayne, I think the burden of proof clearly falls on the offensive front of Hampton. Let's see if we can check out the injury right here. Yeah, it looks like somebody might have rolled on his knee or his ankle.
That brings up 2nd and 10 for Atavius Cash, who's seeing his first action in this game as quarterback. 12:06 to go. He's handing it off. And it's Morant, Carlton Morant, a first down.
Well, the thing that you like about Atavius Cash is his field generalship ability. That ability to be like a magician, if you will, with the football. Watch this. Jiggy little handoff here. Hands it right to Morant. He goes up on the inside, takes it off tackle, and he's in the secondary. See? This is what you call getting jiggy with a handoff right here.
So jiggy that he fooled the announcer. Cash now going to the air. On first down, looking for Zuriel Smith, thrown out of bounds. Sequan Doe defending on the play.
Boy, Doe and Zuriel Smith are locked up in one of the great one-on-one battles in this game right now. And Smith has been open on a couple of occasions, but neither quarterback has been able to get him the ball.
Cash, a senior from Washington, D.C., 6'3", 190 pounds, didn't really have to come back academically this year.
Yeah, he came back because he wanted to have a shot at getting that ring.
On 2nd and 10.
Chris Parker on the carry.
Near a first down.
Now, he will be a lot more effective. Now watch Atavius Cash playing with a bad ankle, playing tough. You see, linebacker stays at home to take the option away. That's Kelly. And look at him. Hey, I'm not your average quarterback. I can handle myself. Don't you forget it. I'm from D.C.
3rd down situation. Florida A&M 0-2, Hampton 2-7. There are whistles. And we'll await the decision of the officials, the announcement. The play we just saw a few plays back where that interesting handoff was made. Joe Taylor has a name for that.
It's called the killer. It just about killed us up here, didn't it? Man.
A bit of sleight of hand on the part of Cash.
Halloween's not till next week. But this, you know, I thought that Frazier would give them a better chance in terms of coming back.
Last time Hampton was able to score, here's what happened.
Tim Frazier gets outside the pocket and he completes the first pass to Zuriel Smith, who breaks a tackle and is able to make some things happen down in FAMU secondary. He comes back, hands the ball up the middle. This time it's Carlton Morant going into the secondary once again. Looked like he was going to take it to the end zone for the score. The drive bogs down, and then they get a field goal of 27 yards by Tellis Bolden. And at that point, it was 14-3. Before Mr. Troy Hart went 50 yards on a bad Tim Frazier pass. That brings us to 20-3 right now. But you know, the ebb and flow of this one, FAMU's up by 17, but it really doesn't seem like they've been dominating like a 17-point game.
3rd and 3 from the 32. Atavius Cash in a quarterback, rolling to his right, eludes one defender and runs out of bounds.
Well, you can see that he's minus some of the quicks that he normally has when he gets outside of the pocket playing with that bum ankle, but he still is a physically strong quarterback. I mean, pound for pound, he could be the strongest signal caller in the conference. And see, fake the dive, he gets outside the pocket. Hampton not able to seal Doe and the linebackers to the inside, and Fortune is able to come up and shove him out of bounds, but not until he picks up the first down. Nice little stiff arm there, too, by a tough kid from the nation's capital.
The Pirates now have the ball at the 28-yard line of Florida A&M, trailing 14-3. It's Robert Smith, off right tackle, where he's fighting for yardage. Leading the way defensively for Florida A&M, Joe Sanders.
Well, now it looks like the big nasties up front, in particular Jelani Clement, a 6'2", 310-pound, pardon me, freshman center. A freshman at 310 pounds. Where is he finding these kids?
Well, this one he found in Chicago, of all places.
Look at Hampton's O-line, averaging 311 pounds.
That line gives Atavius Cash time to throw and complete a pass to his receiver, Michael Compton.
Well, that's the presence of a senior doing a better job in the pocket of feeling the pressure and taking it on. See, he knows he's going to get hit here. The blitz, the pressure is bearing down on him. He just stands in there and just delivers the strike to Compton. He wasn't able to put a lot of mustard on it because I'm sure the ankle is bothering him. But Hampton now with a goal to go.
That was the 9th first down for Hampton against 4 for Florida A&M. Robert Smith gang tackled over the right side. Hampton now inside of the red zone. So far today, they have not been able to turn it into 6. 1 field goal. They trail 23, 10:03 to go in the second quarter.
I think Hampton would probably be best served at trying to use Cash out of the pocket early in this series of downs, either on first or second, because in this scenario, they can't afford to come out of here with only 3 points.
Second and goal, up and over is Robert Smith, and very little doing as he is brought back down to earth. Leading the way is Coleman.
Boy, Ben Coleman got in there that time. The guys up front get absolutely no surge at the point of attack, which allows the defense to surge back to the inside, and he went up and just came right back down. I mean, he looks like the little kid that's trying to climb up on daddy's bed, and he just can't make it.
Smith again, this time he gets into the end zone, and the Pirates score 6.
And just like that, Hampton's back in it. That was a gritty, gutty drive, Dwayne. There's nothing fancy. A couple of down blocks in the center of the line that allows him a hole, and he's able to just go up, take it into the end zone for the score. Hampton turned this thing back into a game.
Tellis Bolden on for the extra point. And he's on the mark. So Hampton now is within 10, 20-10. The Pirates seem to have new life.
The Raptors and the Magic open the season with some high-flying action. Coverage begins Tuesday at 7 with Sunshine Network Live.
Homeowners are as individual as the houses they live in.
But when it comes to getting a home loan, they all agree.
The best rate.
Good rates.
I like a good deal.
Best deal.
And the best way to find a good deal.
America's Lending Partners. America's Lending Partners.
America's Lending Partners.
If you want to refinance your mortgage at today's low rates,
consolidate high-interest credit card bills,
or make home improvements,
call America's Lending Partners.
With just one phone call, you and your loan request will be matched with up to 4 different lenders.
Then you'll talk directly with the lenders.
So you can compare offers,
compare options,
and select the loan that's best for you. Whether your credit's perfect
or less than perfect,
America's Lending Partners has lenders who can help you. And best of all,
the service is free.
America's Lending Partners.
More lenders.
More options.
More solutions.
Call right now. 1-866-394-LOAN.
That's 1-866-394-LOAN.
SunshineNetwork.com is your web source for over 5,000 different products, including team gear from all your favorite Florida teams and more. This season, get in the spirit and go get them at SunshineNetwork.com, powered by Football Fanatics.
Back in Hampton, Virginia, where Florida A&M finds itself with just a 10-point advantage, courtesy Hampton's most recent drive. Robert Smith scoring from point-blank range for the Pirates as they climb back into what appeared to be a hopeless situation just a few moments ago.
And apparently there was a penalty, Dwayne, because Hampton is kicking off from the 50-yard line. I did not see the call.
Tellis Bolden's kickoff will be short, and it's fielded by Lordius, the running back, and he's met quickly by some eager Pirates and things are getting rather heated down on the field.
Well, it's a big-time game, and folks is feeling the pressure just a little bit right now, so things are going to get a little chippy. And it's slightly chippy down on the field right now. And, you know, son, that's a big-time play by Lourdes. You know, Hampton kicking off from the 50 might have been offsides. Let's see, there is a flag down here. That was a bit of a version of the onside kick.
One of the other games we're watching closely, North Carolina A&T and Bethune-Cookman. The Aggies lead at 9-7.
Interesting, and that is homecoming down in Daytona Beach, where we will be next week for the same Hampton Pirates visiting Bethune-Cookman. And that game right there.
Offside against the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, replay the free kick.
That's another one of those games that's part of this elimination tournament as we look at the scoring drive.
Here's how the Pirates did it.
Tavius Cash replaced Tim Frazier and is able to complete a big pass down to create the goal-to-go situation to Compton, and then finishing the drive is Robert Smith with his 3-yard touchdown run. So Cash comes in relief, and he pays immediate dividends coming out of the bullpen, if you will.
Our National Car Rental scoring drive, those 10 plays, covered 64 yards, took 3 minutes 17 seconds. As Mark just mentioned, 3-yard run by Robert Smith. Tellis Bolden to kick off again. This time it's fielded by E.J. Collier. There are whistles again, and this brings something to mind now as we begin to watch things get out of sync. One of the coaches said yesterday, Fred Cass, or Joe Taylor of Hampton told us, if we could just stay away from these mindless flags and mistakes.
Yeah, both of these coaches have been talking about that all season long, how their teams just seem to make numerous mistakes in critical situations, and those are things that are out of character for these two programs. Especially Joe Taylor's very disciplined bunch traditionally, as in the past have been Billy Joe's team, but
well, Florida A&M will have control of the ball at the 15-yard line after everything has been cleared up. Quinn Gray, 111 yards today, equal in touchdowns and interceptions.
But he's only 5 of 13.
On the ground, grinding out yardage is Lourdes.
So FAMU figuring now, okay, with Quinn Gray not exactly sharp, let's start running the football. And this is something that the Rattlers can do a lot better than they have in years past.
2nd and 6 from the 18-yard line. 8:33 to go in the second quarter of our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week. O.J. Marchbanks fighting his way over the right side for a couple of yards.
Boy, that D-line now beginning to step up and assert themselves. I think Greg Scott and Gerald Perry that time just closed off that hole. Hampton a little bit confused on defense.
3rd and 3, Marchbanks powering his way outside, and he is wrestled down.
Well, Hampton was extremely confused that time, Dwayne. They had people being shuttled into the defensive lineup. See, look at that movement at the time that the ball is snapped, and those guys almost made a play, but look at the footwork, the perpetual motion of O.J. Marchbanks and his power to just pick up the first down running through the arms.
Dwayne Little was hanging on for a ride on that play. Set up a first down at the 26. Gray out of the shotgun, elects to keep it himself, has room to run, cuts it back up the middle. Breaking tackles. Quinn Gray has a big first down and into Hampton territory, and he is not the most fleet-footed of quarterbacks.
Look, you've been hanging around Billy Joe too long. He's been telling us that for the last 3 weeks, and it seems like every time he tells us that, Gray gets out of the pocket, off the play action in this case, and he got a block. I got to tell you something. Fletcher Williams, the offensive lineman, put a block on that just opened up the hole for Quinn Gray, and he's never going to be confused with Steve McNair, but he does pick up about 20 yards and a first down.
That 34-yard run sets up a first down in Hampton territory at the Pirates' 40-yard line. Gray out of the shotgun, this time looking to the air, and it's batted down, nearly intercepted. Vincent Lewis, a good job.
Well, Hampton showed blitz. They had 8 in the box that time, and they were trying to come, and Lewis coming at the very last minute from his safety position is going to deflect that pass. You'll see number 19. He's going to just jump up there, and oh boy, Oh, Hampton's had a couple of gifts that they haven't been able to hold on to, which could have really stemmed the tide here in the first half.
Gray 5 of 14 so far in the game. Marchbanks, the big man, up the middle, breaks outside. Vincent Lewis is hanging on for dear life as Marchbanks takes him with him.
He carried him so far he thought he was going to take him to the dorm.
That 9-yard run. Lewis, understand, folks, is 5'11", 185 pounds. Conversely, Marchbanks, 6'1", 230 pounds. So you can understand why he was hanging on. Oh, there's a marker down. And the officials will converge to discuss what's going on.
Well, Hampton's probably going to be flagged because I think one of their coaches is trying to call a timeout, and it has to be called by one of the players. Let's see.
Joe Taylor and his Hampton Pirates trailed 20-3, but have gotten back into it.
Dead ball prior to the snap. Illegal substitution against the defense. 12 men on field. 5-yard penalty. It remains third down.
But mistakes like that will cost Taylor and his Pirates, and that's something he drove home yesterday in our discussion. We must stay away from mental mishaps.
Yeah, Hampton is really wound extremely tight here. I guess if you lose a couple of years in a row and you have your season hanging in the balance, you're going to tighten up just a little bit, and they are playing tight.
1st and 10 for Florida A&M from the 27-yard line. Quinn Gray on a rollout, has a man open. Out of the flats is Marchbanks, who banged into Darrell Diab and made his way down for a first down.
Well, the play-action fake had everybody from the strong side of the field sealed, so he comes back here to the weak side, and there's nobody out there in coverage on Marchbanks, and he's able to just work himself into the flat, see? That little play-action fake sold everybody to that strong side, so you come back to the weak side, and wide open is Marchbanks.
6:43 to go, and Quinn Gray, under pressure, throws it away. We were talking about the mental mistakes as you see the pressure being applied by Gerald Perry for Hampton. Hampton has 4 penalties for 45 yards, Florida A&M 3 for 34.
And there you see Mr. Perry, one of the more aggressive players in the Hampton University front seven. And this no huddle, when you got that much size as Hampton has in their front seven, front 8, well, starts wearing them down ever so slowly as the game moves on. They're moving just a half step slower than they were last quarter.
2nd and 10 for Florida A&M. Ball at the 22-yard line of Hampton. The Rattlers lead our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week 2010 and get very little on this running play.
Right up the gut, nothing fancy. Marchbanks trying to follow his center Kenneth Jones that time and in the general direction of Terry Logan.
But Mr. Greg Scott, number 99, 6'5", 260-pound senior, was there to say, I don't think so on this play. So the Rattlers will give it another shot. 3rd and 8, 6:06 to go in the second quarter. 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversion so far. Gray out of the shotgun, has time to throw, and overthrows his receiver. It's intercepted. Travis Oliver, who's had a number of big plays for the Pirates in this game.
Well, he had one interception earlier that was called back, and this time he steps up and makes a big play. There was major confusion at the snap on the Hampton defensive front, and Gray just overshoots his receiver. See, he's going in the direction of DeMar Bowe, and he just lofts a pass out there that doesn't land until it's in the hands of Coleman. And Coleman could not outrun O.J. Marchbanks, who had the angle on him. But now Cash back in at quarterback. Hampton's looks like it's ready to roll.
And Hampton begins its march at the 26-yard line. Travis Hales on the carry. Wide to the left side. Rattlers defensive unit responding.
You just can't run wide against Florida A&M. They're too fast. I mean, it's nothing fancy about that. You run wide, you play to the strength of their defense. And the folks in this conference are going to have to wake up. You got to keep it between the tackles. When you run between the tackles, you have success against FAMU's defense.
Cash replaced a struggling Tim Frazier earlier in the second quarter. On second down, Cash rolling to his left. Drops it off and has a receiver, Terrence Patrick.
So Patrick now getting into the flow of the passing game. And see, this is just a safe route. You know, you have the receiver and the quarterback effectively rolling in the same direction. So that's just a quarterback-friendly pass. And coming up just a bit gingerly is Mr. Patrick. And they cannot afford to have him out, certainly on special teams.
On 3rd and 2, Hampton Pirates keep it on the ground, close to a first down, but
I think they're going to be short.
Just short.
And, well, every once in a while, the Pirates offensively have tendency to go extremely conservative. This time it works out for them. They do pick up the first down.
Hales on the carry with the first down, gets it out to the 37-yard line. Pirates trailing 20-10. Atavius Cash, ball nearly intercepted by Alex Fortson, who might very well have had his eyes on the end zone.
Yeah, because there was nothing but him and green turf between the end zone. I mean, this is just, you know, a bad pass that FAMU's not able to take advantage of. Nothing fancy. He tried to set up the little screen. Fortson read it well. Deflects the pass.
2nd and 10 from the 37. Cash out of the shotgun, under pressure, gets away from Sanders. Sanders is still on him. And finally, it was Chris Thorpe who ran him down.
Well, that tender ankle really has taken away a lot of the game of Atavius Cash, because normally, I mean, he's able to make this little jiggy move right here. Watch this. Oh, thought you had me? No, you don't. Then he gets outside the pocket, and from the backside, there's pressure, and he's normally able to outrun it. He's not able to outrun it this time. Pressure coming from Joe Sanders and Sean Kelly.
3rd down, Cash out of the shotgun, time to throw, and he will throw it away. There was not a receiver anywhere remotely close to him, was there?
Well, Hampton's offensive front is frankly playing so poorly right now that they have to keep the tight end and the backs in to protect Cash. And the dilemma that brings to the offense is that you can only send 2 receivers into the pattern. And they're not even able to get Blunt into the passing game right now because the O-line isn't doing their job.
Levy Brown back to receive the punt of Tellis Bolden. Bolden with a pretty good punt. Brown fields it at the 21-yard line. There's a flag on the near side as Brown breaks out to the right side. One man to beat. What a move by Levy Brown. But remember, there is a flag on the near sideline.
Boy, there were a couple of big-time blocks that got him around the corner, and I think he must have just run out of gas on his way to the end zone. Boy, watch this block right here. See, he's going to get one coming up right around the corner. Man, what a block. And then he's into the secondary at that point. Marcus Albert was picked off, and a couple of nice moves, and Brown simply runs out of gas. But I think this comes back.
As we mentioned, there was a marker down. Referees are conferring.
It's interesting that Tellis Bolden made a promise this season. He promised that nobody would take a kickback against him. And to this point, it has not happened, but it was ever so close that time.
Levy Brown a bit winded after that run.
And looking for the oxygen tank.
Chuck Williams and his crew marking off the penalty. And it will come back. So Brown's nice effort and the effort of his blockers all for naught.
Wow. Well, come on, fellas. Work too hard for that.
And it appeared to occur away from the play, which is the worst kind of penalty if there are gradations in penalties, if one's better than the other.
Yeah, if one is, then that would certainly be the worst.
So the A&M Rattlers, who got out to a 20-3 lead, watch Hampton come back and get into it at 20-10, and this penalty hurts.
Personal foul against the receiving team post-scrim kick enforcement from the end of the punt, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Referee Chuck Williams explaining everything to all of us. That will set up 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line for the Florida A&M Rattlers, who lead 20-10. They would like to add to that lead. We'll see what they can do when we come back. 10, 4:11 to go here at Armstrong Stadium. Set to go at 1st and 10. Quinn Gray out of the shotgun. Time to throw. Goes long, and defensively, it's Travis Coleman coming up with the interception.
Wow. You know, I'm thinking, Dwayne, Quinn Gray's not having a good day, but he hasn't made any critical mistakes. This is a pass that he should have eaten. I mean, it's a post pattern where they're trying to go into the center of the field. Too much air under it. He throws it into the double coverage. You know, a 2-deep zone. There was help underneath and over the top once again. He tries to force it. I mean, for no reason. No pressure on him that time. And a great job looking like a Hampton Pirate basketball player, climbing the ladder and hauling it down.
Now with the ball as Hales for Hampton as the Pirates get going on the ground. That's good enough for a first down as they look towards trying to get even closer.
Well, you know, Bill Hayes told us a couple of weeks ago, FAMU a little soft up the middle. Where does Hampton go? Right up the middle with the run play. Little trap, and he explodes through there, gets into the secondary. Pirates are moving.
Hales, a 5'11", 180-pound junior from Richmond. On second down, very little, few yards. Hales seeing more action than he has in previous games. 24 rushes, 66 yards. That average will go up considerably if he continues to do what he's doing here this afternoon. On 2nd and 7, it's Hales again. More running room, close to a first down, and the Pirates are moving the Rattlers front 7.
Steiner, Clement, and Cheatham in the middle of that Hampton offensive front right now, just doing a good job where they weren't getting the job done early in this contest. Over the last couple of drives, they've picked their game up. You see, there's still some confusion with this no huddle.
Look at some of the Pirates linemen. They appear a bit winded. This no huddle also takes its toll on them. 3rd and 1 from the 23-yard line. Hampton trailing by 10, 2:44 to go. There are whistles before the ball is snapped. Let's check in with Donna Hopkins.
Hey guys, the injury report on Darren Barnes is that he got that right ankle rolled on, but he got it retaped and he will be back into the ball game, back upstairs.
Thank you, Donna. Billy Joe will be happy to hear that.
You just got the feeling, though, that when FAMU was up 20-3, that they really weren't in control of the game. And a couple of big defensive plays seem to have stemmed the tide just a little bit.
Pirates just down by 10. Could get within 3. Considering they were down 23 early in the game, they have to feel pretty good about the way things have settled down to a degree from them. Of course, Quinn Gray has helped Joe Taylor's crew by making some mistakes.
Yeah, a couple of critical mistakes that he's made, which has seemed to inject some life back into the Pirates sideline, which was really roughly 12 minutes of playing time ago, frankly dead.
Waiting the call from Chuck Williams.
Disregard the first flag. The 12th man on the field got off in time. The second personal foul, dead ball, against the defense will be enforced after this goal line, first down.
Well, that announcement brings the folks at Armstrong Stadium to their feet. Penalty assessed against Florida A&M puts the Hampton Pirates closer to another score.
Wow. Frank did not see that one, Dwayne. Did not see that one at all, but golden scoring opportunity for the Pirates.
Those numbers for Florida A&M on penalties, something that Billy Joe will probably discuss at half, as Hales gets very little on the ground over the left side.
Joe Taylor is a disciple of Bill Walsh. Spent time with the 49ers and Mike Shanahan and the whole bit. And situations like this in the past, 49ers have had a receiver named Rice, Freddie Solomon, who down in the red zone area would come with a quick slant across the middle into the end zone. 3-step drop, timing pattern.
So we should keep our eye on Zuriel Smith then in this situation is what you're saying. Cash keeps it, and he's going to make it close to a first down. Quick feet displayed by Atavius Cash, and the Pirates are within point-blank range.
Well, you couldn't tell that this guy is playing with a tender ankle. Here's a senior. It's basically a quarterback sweep. He fakes the dive, comes around the corner, looks like he's looking to make a pass downfield. Boy, if he had 2 healthy ankles, you know he had 1 more move left in him.
Levee Brown saving the touchdown with his tackle. Cash's injury, a high and low ankle sprain, something that you do not see too often.
Well, you know, if you're Hampton, you want to take as much time possible trying to score here because Florida A&M's so dangerous at scoring inside the last 2 minutes.
Well, Cash's efforts on that last play were good enough for a first down. So the Pirates will have 4 downs from the 1-yard line to collect 6.
Well, I got to believe they're going to just tighten up the chin straps so you can see the full house backfield. They're going to try to run this one right into the teeth of the FAMU defense.
First and goal. It's Hales over the right side. He was close, but no signal from the officials.
And they don't give it to him.
Saquon Doe down at the bottom of the pile for Florida A&M defensively. That'll bring up 2nd and goal. Can't get that much closer without getting in.
Well, the hole's supposed to go one way. He looks like he found the seam the other direction, and Doe just stops him before he breaks the plane of the goal line.
Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin with you. Our MEAC game of the week. Hampton knocking on the door. Hales over the right side. No signal from the officials. Once again, Florida A&M holds at the goal line. That brings up 3rd down.
You know, now, it's not exactly a devastating turn of events because the clock continues to roll. And it means that will be less time for Quinn Gray and company when they get the ball back. It's 3rd and goal situation, clock still running. I think Hampton should just go ahead in the huddle and think about it for a second. Maybe the big nasties up front are a little winded. They're not getting off the ball as quick.
Hales set deep in the backfield, and he gets the call again. This time, it's 6 points.
Well, how about Mr. Atavius Cash as a field general coming off the bench, getting right back into the flow of being the field general. So Slash Cash not making anything happen with the passing game is able to direct the offense as Hales just goes over the top of his big center. Jelani Clement takes it in there.
Bolden's extra point is good, and we, folks, in parlance, have a ball game. Hampton within 3 points, 57 seconds to go in the half here at Hampton, Virginia, where the Pirates have made it very interesting. Within 3 with less than a minute to go at Armstrong Stadium, our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference game of the week. Hampton grinding it out on that last drive. E.J. Collier awaiting the kickoff of Tellis Bolden. This time it's fielded by Kelsey Lordius, the running back again, a short kick, and he's down at the 20-yard line.
Extremely chippy. I mean, you look at somebody the wrong way out there on the field right now, I'm sure they're going to cut you a glance back. That'll cut you.
And National Car Rental scoring drive, 8 plays covering 45 yards, 3 minutes, 7 seconds, the hailed 1-yard run. Back out on the field comes Quinn Gray, Mark Gray, whose confidence may be a bit on edge.
I don't believe it. I think that right now he knows his team is so good in these situations at the end of the first half, he's licking his chops.
On 1st and 10, he gets it to Isaac Brown, who's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Just shy of a first down.
Hampton with 2 timeouts remaining. And this is where they're so tough because of the intricacies of their pass routes.
You look at that number to your far right, Mark. You don't think that has any effect on number 17's mental state?
No, I think they've been so effective, he's got to be feeling pretty good.
On 2nd and short, Gray out of the shotgun. Time to throw. This one tipped and intercepted. Vincent Lewis has it.
He could go.
Touchdown, Hampton.
Well, Dwayne, now Quinn Gray has to feel a little sick in his stomach. Bad pass, forcing it downfield into triple coverage. And a beautiful deflection that time. See, great ample time in the pocket. Pass just gets away from him, intended for DeMar Bowe. It's deflected. Coleman hauls it in. And 59 yards later, he's in the house, and the Pirates have the lead.
And Tellis Bolden adds to that lead with an extra point. 24-20, quick strike capability displayed by the Hampton defensive unit. 30 seconds to go in the game. Pirates come all the way back from a 23 deficit, have a 4-point lead.
We talked about their defense needing to step up and stem the tide of the momentum, and that's exactly what they've done with 3 interceptions here in the the second quarter. And this one really burns the Rattlers.
So now you look at Gray's numbers and you begin to wonder, will we possibly see Lemuel Adams or Reggie Hayes, the backups?
Very interesting question there, Dwayne. That almost could subconsciously send the white flag up. Let's take a look at this one more time. The deflection of this pass by Travis Coleman, and it lands right in the hands of Vincent Lewis, who just has nothing but open field for 59 yards between he and the end zone, and the Pirates have their swagger back here in Virginia.
There may be clouds over Armstrong Stadium right now, but there's a bright countenance on the look of the Hampton faithful after what we just saw. The kickoff short, fielded by O.J. Marchbanks, and with 23 seconds, the Rattlers will bring their offensive unit back onto the field, trailing by 4 after being up 20-3.
That's amazing. You know, they've basically gone mano a mano. Frazier was sacked by Alex Fortune and fumbled, and Carlos Moore recovered it and took it to the house for their score. Hampton now then gets a 59-yard interception return from Lewis.
Turnovers 4 for Florida A&M.
They'll down it here.
3 for Hampton. Well, Gray hands it off. And as Kelsey Lordy is fighting for yardage with 13 seconds to go.
Yeah, they're just going to go in and regroup. I think the swinging pendulum of emotion might lead to the Rattlers having to converse and to figure this one out.
That is the half. The Hampton Pirates have to feel really good. 24-20, they have fought back to regain the lead after being down Mark Gray 20-3 when it looked like they really were out of sync early.
Well, it was a character half of football here in Virginia for the Pirates. They could have rolled over. You know, their offensive line came out and they were frankly playing flat, and it just seems like they got an infusion of intensity when Atavius Cash went up under center, and that really changed the direction of at least the first half.
Some really big plays by the defensive unit for Hampton. The biggest coming there, Travis Coleman with the tip, Vincent Lewis with the interception and score. Now, let's go down to Donna, who has Coach Taylor.
Hey, Coach Taylor, you got to feel good about this team. You were down 20-3, and now you're on top by 4.
Well, you know, we know how to fight, you know, and Coach went out there and dug a hole for ourselves because, you know, the little guy was a little bit rattled. And, you know, we, you know, kind of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit. But, you know, we know our back's against the wall, and all we're asking for is 60 minutes.
Also, you made a quarterback switch. Why was that?
Well, I can say, you know, Tim did a good job last week, and he's a good quarterback, but he's just a little bit rattled. You might see him again, but we just want to bring him out and just settle him down.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Hey, guys, back upstairs.
Thank you for that, Donna. Joe Taylor has to feel pretty good as he takes that walk into his locker room.
He certainly does. His team was almost out of this contest. Like he said, they know how to fight, and they fought their way back to the lead.
Pirates lead at 24-20 at the half. Back with our halftime activities from Armstrong Stadium. Back here at Hampton University, the Pirates lead the Florida A&M Rattlers 24-20 as we begin the second half of a game that has championship chase implications all over it. Fielding the kickoff is Isaac Brown from Florida A&M. Breaks across the 33-yard line before he's brought down. And that's where the Rattlers will come out with Quinn Gray, who had a shaky second quarter, Mark.
Shaky to say the least, and I think the best job Billy Joe probably had to do during halftime is get inside Mr. Gray's head and tell him, look, we've still got a half to keep our championship alive, our championship hopes alive. You got to settle down.
On 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line, Gray hands off to Kelsey Lordius, who is brought down by Stanley Autry.
Well, Florida A&M, if they try to establish the run now, they're running it right into the teeth of an experienced and spirited defensive unit right now. They're going to have to make big plays happen up top.
2nd and 8 from the 34. Gray, quick pitch to Lordius. It works. Springs him for a first down across midfield, fighting off tacklers before he's brought down at the 40-yard line.
Boy, the little shovel pass underneath with a trap.
Travis Oliver on the tackle.
Watch Marchbanks just release right under there. It's a little shovel pass. He goes right up into the teeth of the Hampton D and doesn't stop running until he's well into the secondary.
1st and 10, ball at the 41-yard line. Rattlers on the move. They led 23 in the first quarter, but now trail by 4. Lordius takes the pitch around the left side, fumbles the ball out of bounds.
You know something, Dwayne? Isaac Hilton did a good job that time staying at home, forcing Gray to pitch. Watch number 93. Against the option, he stays at home and forces him to pitch. Trouble is, there's no containment for the pitch man, so Lordius is able to go downfield and pick up sizable yardage. And the FAMU defense, receivers do a good job downfield blocking.
Well, Quinn Gray stepping away from the center for a moment may very well have checked off the play. 2nd and 4. O.J. Marchbanks powering through for a first down, where he's fighting with Vincent Lewis and a number of other Hampton Pirates for more yardage.
That's just one of those. That's one of those battles that, frankly, Lewis is never going to win. I mean, every time he gets somebody around the legs, see, look, fake the pitch, come to the short man underneath. And boy, the cast of thousands that were trying to bring him down, so was Greg Scott, and along with the rest of the crew for the Pirates.
That sets up a first down at the 29-yard line of Hampton. Gray rolling to his right. He is under pressure, gets the ball off, has his tight end Lutu. That's another first down. Durrell Diab defensively with a stop.
Who knew what Lutu could do? Seems like he comes off every time we see him. This is just a safe, quarterback-friendly route. He squares it off, sits in the soft area of the zone, and he picks up the first down.
Lamalo Lutu, junior from San Diego. On first down, this time the Hampton defensive unit makes an emphatic statement. Leading the way was Isaac Hilton. Let's check in with Donna Hopkins.
Hey guys, I was talking to Coach Billy Joe, the Rattlers head coach, at halftime, and he said that what has happened is that the Pirates defense has showed them some defensive fronts that they haven't seen before. So he said that they would make the adjustments, and we'll see what happens. Back to you upstairs.
Donna, the defensive front that the Pirates just showed them their work that led to an incomplete pass. Mark, you had to figure that adjustments would be made on both sides, because although Taylor goes in with a 4-point advantage, he realizes this is by no means over.
Oh, certainly. And he gave him a couple of looks. You know, first off, there were some times where he had 8 in the box and he dropped back into coverage, and Gray didn't make the read correctly.
That brings up 3rd and 13 from the 17-yard line. Gray out of the shotgun. Drops it off from Marchbanks, who powers his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Florida A&M. He's hard to stop in that situation.
An impressive drive by the Rattlers. I mean, that was quick and efficient. And watch Quinn Gray looking deep, coming underneath, and by that time the screen is set up, and then a missed tackle there by Willie Bennett, and O.J. Marchbanks then carries Connor Best into the end zone, and just like that, Florida A&M goes back up on top.
Vasquez on for the extra point.
And this is an adventure these days at FAMU.
Young man, as Mark mentioned earlier, was preseason all-conference regarded as the best field goal kicker and has had problems this season. Not on this extra point. Florida A&M now regains the lead, 27-24. They march downfield, thanks to Mr. Marchbanks. Hampton with the ball when we come back.
What will I be like?
Promises to be very interesting. Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin here. Your Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week.
Maybe we can get Donna to play the Jillian Barbary role and give us a weather report from down there, because it looks like there's some sprinkles also.
Fielding the kickoff is Hales, is Christopher Porter. Around the left side, there was a loose ball.
FAMU, oh no, Hampton got it. Oh.
But Hampton regains it on the kickoff. This is how the Florida A&M Rattlers regain the lead.
Well, it starts with a solid kickoff return by Isaac Brown. Kickoff to the left side, they seal everybody over there, and he's out to take it out to about the 20-yard line. Hampton comes out aggressive. FAMU goes underneath. This is Marchbanks on a run, carrying the ball deep into the Pirates secondary. Quinn Gray on a roll, finds Lutu, and then he comes back with the touchdown pass going underneath to O.J. Marchbanks, runs through Coleman's tackle, and then he just takes it to the house. So there's a look at your National Car Rental scoring drive.
8 plays, 69 yards, 2 minutes, 35 seconds. Marchbanks with a 12-yard catch and run.
And apparently, Dwayne, we got another personal foul on
against the kicking team. 15-yard first down.
Wow. So FAMU's discipline or lack thereof really costing them today.
That allows Atavius Cash and the Pirates to take over at the 49-yard line, maybe a yard on that play for Hales, not much more. So Joe Taylor electing to leave Cash in the game.
Well, he found his rhythm early. The team seems to have some kind of offensive flow and a lot more confidence. It just looked like a more offensively confident team with Cash up under center for whatever reason.
Tim Frazier began the game coming off that Offensive Player of the Week performance a week ago. Cash coming back from an injury, started at receiver, but now in at quarterback, rolling out on second down, under pressure, decides to keep it, has a first down across the 34-yard line of Florida A&M. Goes Atavius Cash.
Given name now, Slash Cash, because we've seen him catch passes, we've seen him throw passes, but here is where he's most dangerous, rolling, getting outside the pocket. Sure, Coach Taylor would rather see him tuck the ball up under there, but he had a big touchdown of about 70-some-odd yards in their homecoming win last season.
20-yard run for Cash sets up first down for Robert Smith, trying to run outside, something that Mark has pointed out time and time again is so difficult against Florida A&M.
Basically the student body action that time, and FAMU just outquicks Hampton to the corner, and the Pirates aren't able to turn that ball upfield and pick up any significant yardage. You see, nobody is sealed to the inside. FAMU does a good job playing off their blocks, and the ubiquitous one, Levy Brown in there, number 11, stepping up to shove him out of bounds.
2nd and 10. Smith this time up the middle. That's where they get yardage.
That's where it is. Because you force, when you go up the middle between the tackles, you force a finesse team to have to play power defense. FAMU's great, but they're not the most physical defensive unit there is, and consequently they're a little bit vulnerable running up on the inside.
Cash 2 of 5, 30 yards. On 1st down, it's Smith. This time, more yardage for him. On the stop is Levy Brown. Well, the Pirates, Mark Gray, are doing what the Rattlers just did, answering them with a sustained drive.
Well, you got the feeling, you often notice how sometimes in basketball games, two teams will start fast breaking, and the first half will be real quick and up and down, and then when the second time, money time, crunch time, if you will, becomes a slow half-court type of game. This is effectively what we've got going on here today.
10:09 to go in the 3rd quarter at Hampton University, where the Pirates moving the ball, trailing 27-24. Tavius Cash under pressure, and he goes down.
That's
Troy Hart on the blitz.
A straight-up corner blitz. Nobody picks up Hart, and Cash couldn't feel him from the backside, and this play is thwarted before it starts. See? Blunt picked up somebody, but they filled too many people on him, and that left Troy Hart effectively unabated to the quarterback there. Hampton was in field goal range, Dwayne, and you look at Troy Hart, who's a fleet of foot member of the Rattler track team, getting in there on the stop.
4-yard loss on the play. Cash going to the air. That one incomplete. Troy Hart defending Zerl Smith on the play and letting Smith know there was no way that was going to happen.
And so the Pirates will attempt the field goal here.
So Tellis Bolden comes on to attempt a field goal. This could tie the ball game. 20. From 43 yards out, Tellis Bolden ties the game, 27-27 with 9:11 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Bolden was 5 of 7 coming in. He's now 6 of 8. This one just a yard shy of being his longest of the season.
Hampton University is in the midst of a $200 million campaign, and you can see the evidence in the chapel on campus and some wonderful new buildings that have gone up. The Nielsen Screen Tennis Center, which we had a chance to visit yesterday. Beautiful facility. Student Union Center, we took a tour of. That is very beautiful, state-of-the-art equipment. The Still Student Center. Workout facilities. If Mark Gray had this when he was in college at Morgan State, maybe he'd be in better shape. President William Harvey, Dr. William Harvey is the president of Hampton University, and under his stewardship, all of these things have happened. There was a bowling alley also in the Student Union. There's a library, future site of the School of Communications, new dorm rooms. So much happening at Hampton University as this great institution moves forward. You see there in the background the Convocation Center where the basketball team plays its home games, and we are here on a chilly Saturday afternoon at Armstrong Stadium, which itself has been upgraded. Wonderful facilities on the campus of Hampton University as their Pirates kick off to E.J. Collier of Florida A&M, who has some running room and is brought down across the 40-yard line, and we're tied 27-27, and there's a lot of talking on the field.
Well, if we could follow up about these two institutions, about Hampton, man, you got a $200 million campaign. Boy, it's proven that private schools can compete at a high level.
Our National Car Rental scoring drive, 8 plays, 40 yards, 2:49 to go. Bolden a 43-yard field goal. Now, folks, for those of you who do math, the reason it was a 43-yard field goal and a 40-yard drive, remember there was a loss of yardage on the play. Keep everyone honest here.
Good job out of you.
1st and 10, ball at the 40-yard line for Florida A&M. Score tied 27-27, 8:59 to go in the third quarter of our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week. Quinn Gray leading the Rattlers at quarterback, calls his own number. Far side, he has room to run, close to a first down as he is escorted out of bounds by Nathan Brown.
Well, remember, Quinn Gray can't run. Quinn Gray is not fleet of foot. So what does he do? He calls a quarterback draw. Remember?
Well, that's what Coach Joe told us. He said, you know, he's just a classic drop-back passer. He really can't run too well. 8:51 to go. On 2nd and short, Gray, the slow one, under center. Marchbanks gets the call, has a first down and more.
He's running through tacklers now. Marchbanks beginning to look like he is wearing down the Hampton defense a bit.
When you try to tackle him, you know you're going to pay a price.
Yeah, he's the toughest guy to tackle in the conference, save for Maurice Hicks at North Carolina A&T.
Total yardage numbers getting closer. 282 for Florida A&M, 246 for Hampton. First down for A&M. This time is Kelsey Lordius. Diral Diab dropping him quickly.
Man, Diab just came up there, through there like a howitzer to find the ball carrier. Man, he found himself a seam and just went right after the ball carrier to bring him down.
Diab, 6'1", 190-pound freshman from Burlington, North Carolina. Incomplete pass on 2nd and 9. That will set up 3rd and 9.
Boy, Travis Coleman almost had number 2. I mean, he was out there, and that ball was dangerously close to his outstretched arms.
Florida A&M entered this game with a 5-1 record in the conference. Hampton 3-1. As we mentioned, the one that loses will simply play out the string for pride. 3rd and 9. Gray out of the shotgun. Has Brown, who was had by Willie Bennett.
And he's going to be short. Now let's see if FAMU is going to go for it on 4th down again. Coming in, they were at a 50% clip, but they missed one in the first half. So Billy Joe is going to rely on his defense to stem the tide here.
That brings on T.J. Smith, 5'10" senior, 180 pounds.
Watch the fake. Remember, Lordius is the up man.
Watch the ball.
You can
Mark Gray called it on the nose.
You can smell it.
Gets the first down.
You can smell it coming. They were over in FAMU territory. You've got a back like Lordius, the up man. You had to see it coming, knowing that Billy Joe, the Riverboat gambler, his team back at the 50% clip now on 4th down conversions. And my, how big was that?
1st and 10 from the 34, Marchbanks powering his way over the right side.
And see, on that previous play, it's just a direct snap to Lordius. They open up a hole off tackle, and he takes it to the first down.
6:57 to go here at Armstrong Stadium. Florida A&M, Hampton University tied 27-27. Gray, 11 of 26, 4 interceptions, 193 yards, but he has the Rattlers on the move. Out of the shotgun. As a receiver near, it's Charles Allen, who's out of bounds. Nathan Brown defensively.
Oh, yeah, there's the West Coast offense personified right there. DeMar Bowe came underneath and cleared it out so that Allen could work the out pattern, and the sure-handed one makes the catch and is close to another FAMU first down.
Allen came in with 33 receptions for 444 yards in this one on 3rd and short. The Rattlers keep it on the ground. There's a lot of jockeying for real estate.
Well, you know, I put the burden of proof on the offensive front for Hampton in the first half, having to step up. Now the front seven on the defense has got to do something here, because Gray, who's handed Hampton 4 gifts today, he's not feeling any pressure right now whatsoever from the Hampton D.
He and the Rattlers at the 24-yard line with a first down. Tied at 27. Marchbanks takes the pitch, runs over Nathan Brown, and it's finally brought down by Isaac Hilton.
That Hilton, with his 4.3 speed, effectively got shaken on the pitch, but then has the speed to come back. See, he went out there in containment to protect the pitch man. We'll check that the quarterback. Then he gets outside, recovers, and makes the tackle. This guy, they tell me he runs track too.
That's scary. On second down, Isaac Brown sticking towards the end zone. Touchdown, Rattlers.
Wow, there's that Quinn Gray. Just when you thought you had him under control, he makes a good read. And this is a move where Isaac Brown just beats, I believe, Willie Bennett off the line of scrimmage, gets some separation, and that's a beautiful pass by Quinn Gray. 4 INTs, but you got to give him his props on a wonderful touch pass, that time for the score.
21-yard touchdown reception for Isaac Brown as Vasquez comes on for the extra point. And the Rattlers take the lead, 33-27. Allen and the rest of the receiving corps helping as they go 11 plays, 60 yards, and Isaac Brown hauls in 6 more. I'm leading 34-27 as the Hampton coaches talk to their defensive unit and offensive unit about what needs to happen next.
They got to find a way to stop Isaac Brown. 6 catches, a couple of TDs.
He has tripled his total for touchdown catches in this season. Coming in, he had 1, now 3. Lennon Nesbitt to kick off for Florida A&M. It's fielded by Parker, who gets to the 30-yard line. Here is how the Rattlers regain the lead.
Well, they looked oh so efficient on that last drive, Dwayne. The key play was on 4th down, the fake punt direct snap to Kelsey Lordius, and they pick it up. And then Quinn Gray makes Hampton pay. Beautiful pass down into the corner for Isaac Brown. They're up 34-27. And let's take a look at that National Car Rental scoring drive.
11 plays, 60 yards, 3 minutes, 34 seconds. Isaac Brown, that 21-yard catch and run. 5:17 to go now. Pirates go back to work. It's Hales running close to a first down. They now must try and answer.
Boy, I tell you, if Stephen Henderson and Eric Steiner are going to continue to perform like that, they'll get right back into it. Good job that time by the left tackle and the left guard, opening that hole for the back to run through.
That sets up 2nd and 3, pickup of 7 on the play. Cash, 2 of 6, 30 yards passing. They elect to keep it on the ground.
Well, you know, there really haven't been any long 7, 8, 10, 12 play, 80, 90-yard drive to where either the defense is out. I mean, there's been big plays, defensive scores, so one would think that neither defensive unit should be getting winded right now, which I believe is what Hampton is trying to do.
Hampton keeps it on the ground, already 166 yards rushing for this team as Hales gets the first down out near the 45-yard line, the 44. Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin here, your Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week.
They're going to go off tackle to the right side this time. And Hales just keeps his feet moving, has good vision, and just works his way down for the first down that time.
See those rushing yardage? Hales again becoming something of a workhorse over the last few series. Pickup of 5 on the play. Cash still in at quarterback.
Hampton clearly does not want to get into a track meet with Florida A&M. So they're taking the air out of the ball, if you will, by keeping it on the ground. They're going to force FAMU to stop them, stop their run game, which should open some things up downfield for Smith, Compton, and or Blount, who we haven't talked about at all here in the second half.
2nd and 6. Once again, it's Hales. This time he's stacked up quickly.
Travis Hales on the carry.
Alex Sportson, one of those.
Well, they tried to go right up the gut that time behind Jelani Clement, and he wasn't able to move anybody. That allowed the linebackers to come up and fill the holes and bring him down.
Hales, 18 rushes so far, 55 yards and a touchdown. He has become the workhorse for the Pirates in this game as they stay on the ground. Tavius Cash wants to go over to Joe Taylor and talk about things.
That timeout will be charged to Florida A&M, but we need to take a look at the MEAC scoreboard on the first day of the 2001 elimination tournament, and we had a team that stayed alive. Well, of course, Norfolk beat Howard on homecoming day on the other side of the bay, 7-0. Morris Brown escapes Morgan State on homecoming in Atlanta. But here are the elimination matchups. South Carolina State beats Delaware State, but A&T stays alive in the drive for the 2001 championship with an upset win over Bethune-Cookman on homecoming in Daytona Beach. So if Hampton is able to find a way to pull this one out, we'll have another elimination matchup on the MEAC Game of the Week next week here on the MEAC Sports Network.
Well, it will not be a very happy group of Wildcats that'll be waiting Hampton and Daytona Beach next week. On 3rd and 6, Cash rolling right under pressure, gets it off, has Zuriel Smith, but he's out of bounds, but has a first down.
Well, see, when you're running up the middle and you're having some success, it makes the play action fake that much more effective. That time he's able to play action fake just a little bit, roll, and then fire a strike to Smith. Sequan Doe was just a little late, but he had enough to get Zuriel Smith out of bounds.
Smith's catch now makes the Pirates 8 of 15 on 3rd down conversions. They keep this drive alive, trailing 34-27 at the 44-yard line. Hales breaks free, picks up another first down. Let's check in with Donna Hopkins.
Hey guys, I was over on the defensive side of the ball, and Coach Lee was trying to get his troops far back up and get them refocused to get back up on the field and stop Quinn Gray. Back upstairs to you.
Thank you, Donna. Quinn Gray is someone who has to have a big game and has to be in the game.
Certainly, and Gray has to feel good, but I tell you something, if I'm Alonzo Lee, I'm gonna have to start changing the looks up front.
1st and 10 from the 28, very little there. Alex Fortson, Shedrick Copeland, a number of other players to stop Hales on that drive. Hales has been actually quite impressive so far today for a fellow who was not considered the top running back here. It was Robert Smith.
Right, and this is his Smith's understudy, if you will. You know, sort of a running back by committee here at Hampton this year after the all-time leading rusher in the history of the school, Montrell Coley, graduated last year. Coley was effectively a lock on the first team all-conference for the
On
time
2nd
here.
and 10, Cash is under pressure, does get it off. Nice effort by Michael Compton, but defending on the play was Sequan Doe, who did all he could to keep anything else from happening.
A lot of mustard on this one, and it's high, and that's why Compton's not able to go up the ladder and bring it in. And he takes a shot from Sequan Doe. Boy, receiver extend himself like that, your corner, you're licking your chops.
That brings up 3rd and 9. Cash in trouble, gets it off to Hales. Smart play by Cash. Hales doing some nice running after the catch, but it's short of a first down.
Boy, that play was designed to be a screen to the tight end on the far side of the field, and FAMU's disciplined defense, staying at home, took that play away. That was the 3rd option in that pass pattern as Sequan Doe tries to gather himself after making a big stick, but he was the 3rd option in that pass pattern, and he made something happen.
He gets away from Fortson. Just a smart play, and that's veteran leadership. That's what that is.
But now Bolden is going to have to try to score again.
43-yard attempt by Tellis Bolden. His last one from this distance tied the game at 27 all. And this one will be well off the mark.
Field goal attempt is no good.
I guess the burden of proof now falls on Hampton's defense once again to make a big play, sort of stem the tide there.
So a dejected Bolden walks off the field. His attempt no good. His Pirates still trail 27-34.
Well, here's a field goal attempt that is remarkably reminiscent of Dwayne Ballin on the third tee. Wide left.
Well, to his credit, he did find some real estate at some point.
Still struggling to keep him off the golf carts, are you?
1st and 10 for the Rattlers. And Lordius is tied up by Vernon Woodson.
Those linebackers. Woodson is tremendous. So is Autry and Hughes. Solid trio back there.
Loss of 1 on the plate, 1st and 11. Gray's pass is low.
And he's lucky that time, too, because there was pressure back in there on him. He was trying to go to Dennis Bongo on the far side of the field, who has made his first appearance in the lineup here.
Our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week coming to you from Armstrong Field at Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia. The Pirates and the Florida A&M Rattlers. Rattlers took a 20-3 lead early, and then Hampton came back to take the lead. It was then tied at 27. Florida A&M went back up, and Quinn Gray under pressure has a man open, DeMar Bowe, and he is nailed after the reception by Nathan Brown, but it's a big play and a first down.
And Quinn Gray still can't run. Isn't that what Billy Joe told us? The guy doesn't move. He's a drop-back passer. You know, he's not comfortable when he has to move around in the pocket. All he does this time is just buy himself some time. Look, there's going to be pressure around by his feet. He avoids that one there, rolls to this side, and just sets up, lofts a strike downfield that's hauled in by Bowe.
26-yard play, sets up a first down, and Gray, right on cue, decides to run. Now, I recall that we were sitting there, you, our producer Chris Grain, myself, talking to Coach Joe. We asked him about this, and he said, no, he's not very good when it comes to running.
That's what he said. That's his story, and I'm sure he's sticking to it.
At the end of 3, the Florida A&M Rattlers lead the Hampton Pirates 34-27 at Armstrong Stadium. A very interesting fourth quarter looms on the horizon. Since Armstrong Stadium, Florida A&M leads 34-27 as we commence the fourth quarter of our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week. Florida A&M so far 355 total offensive yards, Mark Gray, to Hampton's 290.
Well, simply put, there's 15 minutes of meaningful football left in either one of these two seasons.
Big play, big play. Good play.
2nd and 9.
And you can hear the Hampton coaching staff lauding their play, their defensive unit asking for big plays.
Quinn Gray out of the shotgun. He has 4 interceptions on the day, but he has responded with a couple of touchdown passes to Isaac Brown. First play of the fourth quarter. Gray to the air again, has a receiver. Marco Junius with another first down.
That time, the defense was just too soft. Now, you had 5 players in the general vicinity, 5 defensive players in the general vicinity of 1 offensive player, and he's still able to make the catch. That's just soft defense and a receiver finding the right spot in the zone.
That puts the ball at the 35-yard line after a 13-yard pickup, and this time it's just thrown away.
Good play that time by Gray. Getting some very intense pressure from the inside there by Hampton University's Tremaine Hughes, who came in second in the conference with 55 tackles, and he's got 11 tackles for loss on the season. Wasn't able to sack Quinn Gray, the guy they keep telling us can't move.
I think that's a line that's not going to work after this game.
No.
2nd and 10 at the 35-yard line of Hampton for Florida A&M. The Rattlers lead 34-27, looking for more. Greg Scott was putting pressure, but not before Lordius got the handoff and makes his way up near another first down.
Well, Scott came up to guard against Gray getting to the outside, and he slipped it up underneath to Kelsey Lordius after the trap action. See, watch, they get a nice trap. Logan with a big block right there opens the hole, and Lordius picks up good yardage, but we do have some laundry on the turf.
Right here, 60 minutes. Personal foul, face man, against the defense, half the distance goal, first down.
Another one of those mental mistakes at a most inopportune time. A personal foul against Hampton.
Boy, you said a mouthful there. I mean, that's devastating turn of events, especially down a touchdown with a team moving offensively at will.
Let's take a look and see if we can see where the infraction occurred. In the corner. Offensive lineman. Quinn Gray to the air. A crowd in the back of the end zone, and it sails out incomplete.
Trying to get the ball to my man Lutu. And he couldn't find him. That time the play action fake really didn't freeze anybody. So when Gray goes to the outside, the tight end is supposed to release into the center of the end zone, and he's covered. There are 5 defenders around him, and a heads-up play by Gray to just get rid of it.
On 2nd and 10, Gray keeping it himself, and he finds his way into the end zone. Another touchdown for Florida A&M.
That's a touchdown.
And that's Quinn Gray again. I mean, this is the most prolific passer in school history who's getting it done on the ground. And Florida A&M has silenced the throng here. See, it's a quarterback draw. He goes up the middle. Good block from Terry Logan and Kenneth Jones. And it leads to the 11-yard TD run. FAMU sitting real good right now here in Hampton.
That brings on Mr. Vasquez for the extra point. This one is good. So Florida A&M marches downfield, collects another 7 points, and extends the lead to 41-27 over Hampton with 13:57 to go. The Rattlers do it on the ground. Armstrong Stadium, Florida A&M is just taking the 41-27 lead with 13:57 remaining in the game. Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin here. Our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week and Conference Championship chase implications abound in this one. Lennon Nesbitt's kickoff is fielded at the 2-yard line by Terrence Patrick, and he speeds out to the 43-yard line before he's down. Rattlers mix it up on this drive, Mark, the previous one.
Well, when Hampton is playing aggressively, you can take advantage of that aggression by a little bit of misdirection stuff here. Gray rolls out of trouble, finds DeMar Bowe around midfield. Then he rolls out with the little shovel pass up inside to Kelsey Lordius. Then on the quarterback draw, it's Quinn Gray, a guy who Billy Joe called immobile, who takes it to the house.
Our National Cardinal scoring drive, 9 plays, 75 yards, 2 minutes, 10 seconds, an 11-yard run by Gray. That 35-yard return by Patrick sets up first down at the 41-yard line for Atavius Cash and the Pirates, and that pass play never did develop.
Well, Hampton's in real trouble right here. A, Cash isn't exactly a comeback passer quarterback that's going to win you a game like this. You can't go against FAMU right now with just 2 receivers and a tight end in the pattern. You're going to have to spread them out. Your run game is basically forget it now.
These numbers you just saw belie what's going on. 28 minutes plus for Hampton in time of possession, nothing on that running play, and just 17:38 for Florida A&M, Mark. But again, we go back to quantity and quality.
Indeed. And you know something? It's an eerie little omen all of a sudden, Dwayne. If this score holds out, FAMU will be 0 for the last 4 against Florida teams. If I'm not mistaken.
So you're saying Hampton and the Sunshine State, things aren't working too well for them.
Not well at all.
13:01 to go on 3rd down and 10. Cash, it is tipped away and nearly intercepted by Troy Hart. He was looking for Zuriel Smith.
And Troy Hart, watch him break on this ball. He just played the ball. He said, forget Smith, I'm going for the ball. And Hart is one of the best cover corners in the conference, and he's blanketing Zuriel Smith. Smith's made a couple of catches this afternoon, but he hasn't really made a incredibly impressive or an impressive play to this point.
That brings on Tellis Bolden to punt it away. Levy Brown will not get the opportunity to run it back. Pirates will down it at the 24-yard line. So now you're moving into a situation at 12:44 to go, and Florida A&M, if it is possible, can slow the game down if that's possible. Be sure to join us next week. We'll come to you from Daytona Beach with these same Pirates and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats.
And that will be certainly an elimination game. Hampton may be done unless things change around here. And Bethune-Cookman, with their loss on homecoming today at their house, find themselves playing for their championship lives.
That 35-yard punt by Bolden gives Florida A&M a 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Lordy is trying to run wide to the left side, runs out of bounds. Back to the point we were making earlier, if you're Florida A&M, is it even possible to slow the game down?
Just like that, run plays. And instead of trying to run to the outside where you stop the clock, what you got to do is go between the tackles now. Try to let your big nasties up front wear down a Hampton front 7 that appears to be tiring just a little bit.
2nd and 3, pickup of 7 on the last play. Rattlers, true to Coach Gray's form, stay on the ground.
Sam Murphy that time coming up in there, engine just still going. Critical situation here, 3rd and short.
Murphy on the stop there, 6'3", 310 pounds, a sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina.
This is dangerous.
3rd and 2. Marchbanks breaks free, has a 1st down, and the big man gets close to the 50-yard line.
10 guys in the box, and if the back can pop it, he can take it all away, and Marchbanks almost did just that. See, Hampton right here is going to flood. Everybody's in the box right there, so as soon as he breaks containment at the line of scrimmage, boy, had it not been for Travis Coleman to stop him, O.J. Marchbanks might still be running.
17-yard run play. On that replay, if you noticed, it was interesting to see Tremaine Hughes, and he got up slower than Marchbanks did.
I'm sure he did. Now watch, Marchbanks is going to come right up the center, little something off tackle, and then watch. Coleman is going to track him down from the backside, but Hughes, who will get credit for the stop, is a little bit the worse for wear after that.
Well, he got it rather slowly. Marchbanks bounded up 64 yards on 13 carries. And folks, he is a guy that makes you pay for it every time you get up close to him.
Billy Joe doing a marvelous job without the one premier running back, getting mileage out of his trio. You know, you've got Williams, who we haven't seen a lot of.
Against the defense, 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, remain 1st down.
Was that a neutral zone infraction?
Another penalty assessed against the Hampton Pirates. Moves the ball for Florida A&M, still 1st and 5. Let's check in with Donna Hopkins.
Well, guys, as the offense came off the field, Cash was telling his team to get back focused. He was trying to keep them pumped up, but heads are hanging a little low right now, back upstairs.
Donna, you can kind of see that, too, in what's happening on the field, because that was the 2nd illegal substitution call against the Pirates. So not only is their physical demeanor wrong right now, but Joe Taylor has to work on the heads of his young men also.
And see here, they're real tight up in there. I might go with a conventional set and maybe think about a run blitz in this kind of situation here.
2nd and 5. It's Marchbanks. driving for another first down and taking about 4 Pirates with him.
Well, you can see the Pirates are tiring up front. FAMU's big guys up front have just beaten up the Hampton Pirates up front. And you can see them wearing down just a little bit.
This drive started on the 24-yard line of Florida A&M. The Rattlers already leading 41-27. Marchbanks, that man, has become the man to get the ball for Florida A&M on the ground. First downs for Florida A&M, 24-20 advantage in this game.
And you see, with this quick tempo, it doesn't allow Hampton an opportunity to make substitutions or the big guys up front to catch their breath. And they're struggling right now. When you look at the Hiltons and the Perrys and the Murphys, laboring just a little bit.
2nd and 9, Quinn Gray out of the shotgun. Going long. DeMar Bowe. Touchdown, Florida A&M.
Hold it, if you listen closely, you can hear Dandy Don. He's singing.
Are you suggesting this party is over?
I'm thinking FAMU has dodged a bullet, and they will play for another day, and Hampton has just become spoilers. Great protection, and he just beat Coleman off the line of scrimmage. He got a step on him. Coleman never turns his head, looks for the football, and Bo just hauls it in at the 3 and carries him into the end zone. Oliver, the sophomore from Richmond, frankly got taken to school on Saturday.
Again, Mr. Vasquez on for the extra point. Oh, there was confusion ensuing on that play. But Florida A&M marches downfield, this time doing it through the air. The mighty Quinn finds his old bow, and the Rattlers are ruling. Trail by 20 with 10:07 to go in the game. Florida A&M seemingly has figured out its offensive flow. Lennon Nesbitt kicking off for the Rattlers. And it backs Terrence Patrick into the end zone, and he opts not to try and run it out. Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin, our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week. Mark, so far, Florida A&M 299 yards passing to 89 for Hampton as we take a look at the national scoring drive, and this one primarily through the air. 39 of those 299 coming there.
We were talking about in the first half, I think you asked the question, do you think Billy Joe should go to the bench to bring in Adams? I told you just got to get inside the guy's head. He's won big games before. His team was still in it. He's just got to pick himself up off the deck, regain his confidence. We saw a polished, confident quarterback here in the second half in Quinn Gray.
Well, on first down, Octavius Cash breaks out, has running room, a first down, and is knocked out of bounds and spoken to by Cedric Copley.
And that's good sportsmanship right there. This is Cash out of the shotgun. Quarterback draw. Joe Taylor told us we got to get him the ball, let him make some things happen because he's an incredible athlete, and there's some folks scouting him. Boy, that was close. But nonetheless, a 25-yard scamper for Cash.
That brings up first down for the Pirates at the 40-yard line. Cyril Smith, a short play that barely gets beyond the line of scrimmage.
And you know why? Because Levy Brown came up and made the short tackle on Smith. If he doesn't make that tackle, he bounces off, and it looks a lot like Isaac Brown did in the first half on his first reception.
Levy Brown all over the place for the Rattlers. Came in leading them in tackles. A couple of interceptions also. On 1st and 7 from the 48, 2nd and 7 from the 48, Cash's pass is incomplete.
Cash comes back to the huddle going, I knew you were out there. I should have got to you. See Quando, little gingerly as he walks back to position.
Cash came in the second quarter to replace Tim Frazier, the talented sophomore who started but struggled. Joe Taylor opted to go with his senior, and Cash brought them back, gave them the lead. Now they find themselves in a deficit again, and Cash out of the shotgun, looking to get something going. 3rd and 7, he's under pressure, gets it off, looking for Terrence Patrick or Michael Compton. Take your pick.
Well, it seems like they both ran slant patterns to the same area of the field, and the pressure forced Cash to release the pass early, and Patrick right now is walking rather gingerly in his own right, and I'm not quite, well, he's nursing that groin injury, and just doesn't look good right now.
Tellis Bolden on to punt it away. Levi Brown awaiting the punt at his 20-yard line. Brown will let it bounce, and it's down at the 23, where Quinn Gray and the Florida A&M Rattlers will come out hopeful of adding to their 20-point lead. Pirates trail by 20 points with 9 minutes to go in this game. Quinn Gray going to the air again, looking for Marco Junius, who stretches out and nearly makes a great grab. Travis Coleman defending on the play.
Now, I'm a little shocked that Billy Joe is cranking the ball up with 9 minutes to go, up by 3 scores, looking to pad his total offensive numbers. Now, the Rattlers came into this context tops in the MEAC in total offense, and as you can see, post pattern, we've got probably going to have a holding call, and Junius is out there, and wow, the ball comes out just at the end.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat, 1st down.
Well, despite that call against the Rattlers, the last time they had the ball, things worked out well.
They certainly did. They started by running the ball off tackle with O.J. Marchbanks on a 3rd and short situation, and he picked up the 1st down. That bought Quinn Gray some more time. Then he takes a deep drop, goes down the field, finds Gamarbo, who scores the touchdown, and FAMU cruising right now.
299 passing yards to Hampton's 92. That man, despite 4 interceptions, is showcasing his leadership skills on the field. 1st and 20. Gray in trouble, will go down. Isaac Hilton, Greg Scott, among those, there's Hilton.
The mercurial one, a 4.3 40. He showed getting evidence of his power and his quickness right there in bringing down Quinn Gray, who I might add is 6'4", about 230 pounds in his own.
Hilton, 6'5", 250, a sophomore from Charleston, South Carolina. On 2nd and 20, at the 11-yard line, Quinn Gray out of the shotgun. Has 4 receivers going downfield, throws into traffic, a dangerous pass intended for Isaac Brown, but boy, it took some guts to throw that.
But it was a perfect strike right into the hands of number 2, and I think he turned his head around a split second too fast, and that's why he dropped the pass. Great protection. It's a slant pattern. Got to have real guts to make this pass right here over 2 defenders, and he can't believe that he dropped that one. Crossing route into coverage.
That brings up 3rd and 20. Under pressure. Hilton applying the pressure, and he was looking for Junius, but is thrown out of bounds.
Well, that's interesting. With 9 minutes to go, Florida A&M got the ball. They ran 3 plays. All of them were passes. They used up 59 seconds. Now, granted, it's going to take a miracle of biblical proportion for Hampton to come back and win this game, but still, you had a chance to seal the deal, use a few more minutes off the clock, and you don't do it.
T.J. Smith out of his on-end zone. Zuriel Smith at the 45-yard line of Florida A&M. And Smith sends him back into Hampton territory. Zuriel Smith, some nifty running to turn what appeared to be nothing into something. And words are exchanged along the Hampton sideline.
I think Zuriel Smith took exception to a pretty tough shot that Levi Brown put on him because he thought he was out of bounds.
Let's go. Oh,
that's just a tremendous individual effort to outrun the coverage.
Levi Brown just wanted him to know that he was there in case he decided
Yeah,
to
he wanted
spin once more.
Exactly. He wanted to invite him out in Tallahassee next season.
So the Hampton Pirates, 1st and 10 from the 31 after the 20-yard return by Smith. Cash out of the shotgun. Had time to throw. Sean Kelly wraps him up, though, as the pocket breaks down and drops him.
That's Mr. Kelly's 6th sack of the season. And it's like we've been there for all of them. He was a terror against Howard. Had a big game against North Carolina A&T. And he has been solid this afternoon as well.
Kelly, 6'1", 218-pound freshman from Tallahassee. This time it's Hales taking the pitch, Levy Brown and Alex Fortson take him out of bounds.
Well, they do a good job that time. Leon Scott steps up, forces him to pitch it early, and there's just basically no hope there. Stepping outside, that play is totally disrupted. And he wasn't able to get to the end of the line to make the pitch, and that pressure initially allowed the defenders to roll up and stop the play.
Loss of 2 on the play, setting up 3rd and 12. Cash to Smith. Near a first down as he hauls it down across the middle and runs right into traffic.
Well, he comes in motion, and nobody comes with him.
Now, he and Levy Brown are exchanging pleasantries there after the play.
Oh, certainly. Especially when you're down by 3 touchdowns late in the contest, I'm sure you don't have anything but pleasantries to extend to the guy that's beating you.
Now, Timothy Frazier is out on the field, the young man that started the game at quarterback.
Well, watch some kind of old, I wouldn't be shocked to see some flanker, swing pass, throw downfield type stuff here.
So Frazier back in the game, first time since the 2nd quarter. Something didn't look right. He calls a timeout to go talk to Coach Taylor. But this is a young man coming off a tremendous week where he was named Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Player of the Week, had a shaky start.
No disrespect to South Carolina State, but that was against South Carolina State. And this is not the traditional Bulldog defense of years gone by. So, he stepped up a little bit today in competition. And, frankly, it seems like when Florida A&M has to step up in a game where their backs are against the wall or there's some championship implications on the line, unless they're in Greensboro, they're more than up to the challenge.
Well, this is Frazier's first action, as we mentioned, since he was pulled early in the 2nd quarter for Atavius Cash. And Cash has moved the Pirates, but the Pirates have no touchdown passes in this game, and Frazier can throw the ball when given the opportunity and when he's poised.
Well, one thing about you hit the nail on the head. A, when he's poised, and B, when he has some time.
Coming up, the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference cross-country championships. The Norfolk State men's are the champion, and the Florida A&M women's are the champion for the cross-country championship. Congratulations to both of them for winning their titles. You see Atavius Cash, number 10. He is being replaced now by the sophomore, Timothy Frazier.
And I saw him on the sideline limping noticeably now, standing next to Coach Taylor. We may have seen the rest. Slash Cash may be done for the day.
So on 4th and 2, marker flies, Frazier goes down under pressure, and there's an incomplete pass. So nothing went right for Hampton on that play.
Nothing at all. It was a jailbreak up the middle, which allowed the pressure to get to Frazier. And I even think there was some holding. But Hampton acting as though the penalty is against Florida A&M. Florida A&M might have moved that time. Copeland might have jumped into the neutral zone just prior to the snap.
Florida A&M's assistant coaches shouting instructions out. You don't see Coach Billy Joe on the sidelines because, well, he coaches from a booth. And that's where he thinks he can see the field the best. So he's always upstairs during a game. 5:56 to go in the 4th quarter.
And I misidentified. I think that infraction was on Sean Kelly.
Timothy Frazier going to the air. That ball hangs up there. Defensively, it was Troy Hart.
Hart and Smith. You put the best receiver on the best corner, and you say, go out there and make a play. That was that old play that R.C. Owens made so famous with the 49ers.
San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
R.C. Owens.
What did they call that play?
Bob Waterfield. They called it the alley-oop, didn't they?
Thanks. I mean, I wasn't around at that time.
Implicating what? I was. On 2nd and 10, Frazier keeping the ball and losing yards.
I was just implicating that you're far more cultured than I am. And I told you in the first half that we defer all the cultural part of the broadcast to you, sir.
I've just discerned that cultural is a euphemism for age with you.
What makes you say that?
5:24 to go in our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week. Donna Hopkins, Mark Gray, Dwayne Ballin with you from Armstrong Stadium on the campus of Hampton University.
It's experience, it's wisdom, it's knowledge.
Okay, stop while you're ahead, Gray. 47-27, 3rd and 15 for the Pirates. Whistles on the field.
Hit ball. Prior to the snap. Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Now the call is delay of game there. Don't want to put too much on the young sophomore's shoulders, but how much of that is the fact, Mark, that there is a young quarterback in whose confidence probably was shaken early in this game?
And the fact that they're trying to execute extremely fast to try to look for the 20-point play.
3rd and 20. Frazier going to the air, looking for Tavius Cash. Carlos Moore defending. There's a flag in the end zone.
Well, they're going to call Moore probably for pass interference, but it's an uncatchable pass. It's way behind him. He's trying to turn around and make the catch, and it's an uncatchable pass. I mean, unless he's plastic, man, and can do some kind of elastic things with his waist, he's not going to catch that pass.
Moreover, the intended receiver was a Tavius Cash, and that's Zarrell Smith wide open once the ball broke to the other side, but Cash was the receiver.
Now, Cash is a pro prospect in his own right. You're going to see him a lot in slot and receiver situations like this for the balance of the year.
Pass interference, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So an interesting move by Coach Taylor.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, he's one of those 4-4 guys, Cash is. So he's pretty swift now.
He brings Frazier back in. Cash goes back to the position of receiver. And Cash quarterbacked them to a tie and to a lead. But now they're down by 20. Frazier under pressure, throws it, has Zarrell Smith, and he's stopped by Levi Brown.
Now Frazier has got to, keep his composure, get his team up to the line as soon as possible.
4:35 to go. Time becoming a factor. Smith, 6 receptions, 73 yards, but no touchdowns. 2nd and 4 from the 5. And Florida A&M's defensive unit responds quickly when Hales tries to go up the middle.
I think they're going to have to fake that stuff up the middle and get to the outside to try to complete any passing plays. And where's Blount? Still haven't called his name. Still haven't seen him in the passing game this afternoon. He's got good hands. He gets open.
On 3rd down.
Now,
Hales running wide.
Haven't we crossed the bridge that it's just too difficult to run outside against Florida A&M?
They have tried that a number of times. That brings up 4th down.
Suffice to say, this is the game, Dwayne.
3:25 to go and counting. A loss will take you out of the conference race. 4th down conversions. You see the numbers. There's Hales.
You love it.
He didn't quite get to the end zone. Hales has done the bulk of the ball carrying in this game after Robert Smith, the usual primary ball carrier, did most of it in the 1st quarter.
So obviously that brings up a goal-to-goal situation. I thought he broke the plane that time, Dwayne. Look, I know that time there's no doubt.
On 1st and goal, Hales gets into the end zone. So the Pirates add 6, And now comes the question, 2 points or 1?
Let's see. Flip the coin. I think at this point you would probably be trying to play for overtime, would you not, if you're in Hampton's shoes?
Well, the Pirates are going for 2. Interesting alignment. Major shift. Frazier alone in the shotgun. Compton in motion. Frazier drops it off. And the 2 points are good. David Blount, the man you just said we hadn't heard too much from, the 6'5", 230-pound junior tight end, hauls in the 2-point conversion. And the Pirates are within 12 with 2:56 to go.
New faces and all-star talent will keep the fires burning as the Heat take on the Cavs. Coverage begins Friday at 7 with Sunshine Network Live.
Mantis Tiller Cultivator is making gardening easier for everyone. The Mantis weighs just 20 pounds, so it's easy to carry and operate. Yet the unique patented tines and powerful 2-cycle engine lets you cut through hard soils and dig down to 10 inches deep. Mantis is so easy to handle that weeding and cultivating, even in tight places, is a snap. And with the optional Mantis attachments, you can dig furrows, trim hedges, aerate and dethatch your lawn, cut professional-looking borders, and remove weeds from cracks. Mantis's superior performance and rugged dependability is backed by a 2-year warranty and a lifetime warranty on the tines against breakage. So you get years of trouble-free service. The Mantis Tiller is now available at factory direct prices. So call for your free information pack with details on our 1-year money-back guarantee. Call 1-800-305-3390 24 hours a day. That's 1-800-305-3390.
Inside, outside, from the driver's side. 120 minutes covering the best in auto racing. Strap yourself in each week. The Discount Auto Parts 120 on Sunshine Network.
MEAC Football 2001 is brought to you by National Car Rental, US Airways, NUE TV, Nike, and by Wittenauer. The lights are on at Armstrong Stadium in Hampton, Virginia, where the Pirates are trying to get back into it very late. They trail by 12 now, down by 20 just a few moments ago, 47-35. Hales with the short run just now for 6. They will be kicking off. Tellis Bolden will. And there is the expected onside kick, but the sure-handed Rattlers have the ball at the 45-yard line. Hampton did it the hard way on their last drive, Mark.
Well, they certainly did. Tim Frazier comes off the bench. He finds Zuriel Smith right there. It's tackled by Levy Brown. Then you got the pass interference call as he was trying to get the ball to Cash, which kept the drive alive. And then after a play where it looked like he was in, Hales finally gets credit for the score. Then on the 2-point conversion, rather interesting way to get the football to Blunt, the tight end, but he does score.
National Car Rental scoring drive, 12 plays, 31 yards, that 1-yard run. Kelsey Lordius around the right side, and he is tracked down and stopped by Vernon Woodson, but not after a sizable pickup.
Hampton's going to have to burn their timeouts now. Try to stem the tide of this thing. But look at Florida A&M. They're still in attack mode. I mean, it's hard to believe they're leading.
That sets up a first down for the Rattlers at the 35-yard line of Hampton. In this game earlier, Quinn Gray moved into sole possession of first place in the career touchdown passes list at Florida A&M. And that's who we'll call Mr. Inside. O.J. Marchbanks will call Lordius Mr. Outside.
Well, he's tough. I tell you, that O.J. Marchbanks is a punishing, physical specimen who makes everybody pay for come up and trying to bring him down.
We mentioned at the top of the telecast, 6'1", 230 pounds, a senior from Santa Rosa, California. 2nd and 7, Gray to the air. This one's intercepted.
Coleman.
Travis Coleman with an exceptional return inside Florida A&M territory. The question becomes, why throw the ball?
Why? I mean, just, you know, I mean, it's not like you got the BCS standings to deal with here where you got some computer based on strength of schedule. I mean, you know, I don't understand that when it was a gift interception by Coleman, and Hampton still has life. Rare is it you find a coach that is that greedy and he gets burned.
Timothy Frazier, the sophomore, brings the Pirates back out on the field, 1st and 10 from the 40. They have a chance to get closer. Frazier scrambling, and this one will come up short. 1:29 to go. 47-35, Florida A&M with a 12-point lead in our Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Game of the Week.
I'm just still a little stunned at the part on the previous pass. I'm just, wow.
That incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10, still from the 40. Patrick out of the shotgun. Nearly completes it to Zuriel Smith.
And man,
Sequan Doe on the defensive end of that one.
Yeah, Bo was there on the, that was Sequan Doe that was in there on the coverage trying to jump the coverage on the slant pattern. But Smith has got to haul that in.
So it's 3rd and 10 from the 40. 1:25 to go. 12-point deficit for Patrick and the Pirates. Drops it off to Hales, and he gets very little.
Alex Fortson is just having a tremendous season. Number 5 totally disrupted that play. I mean, it's a one man out there who can stem the tide of those chains potentially moving, and Fortson thwarted the effort.
I'd like to thank the respective media relations directors at Hampton University and Florida A&M, Patricia Harvey and Alvin Hollins, for their help this week. They've helped our broadcast tremendously. Patrick to the air. It's intercepted by Sequan Doe, who raises the ball in show of celebration before going down. We're inside of a minute to go. For all intent and purpose, that should do it, as Florida A&M now will have the ball with a 12-point lead.
And they know that their championship chances
celebratory
still are alive.
By Doe.
Wow. And it's just a slant pattern one more time. He jumped the coverage right in front of Zuriel Smith. Tried to go back to the well one time too many, and Doe makes his pay. He's got to be happy to see us, because I tell you, he's got about 4 interceptions on TV this year alone.
Well, Quinn Gray sets down on it. We'd like to pass along that MEAC Television Football is produced. Executive producer is Johnny Tyson. Today's game produced by Chris Green, directed by Chuck May. Statisticians provided by Adrian Weidman, courtesy of Hampton University.
And we want to bid bon voyage to Mr. Wizard.
Chris Green, our producer.
That's right. For some reason, he won't be around with us anymore. He's got to go follow some dude named Jordan around the NBA for a season or something.
His last telecast on the MEAC network.
Can you believe he would leave us to follow Michael Jordan?
It is a stretch,
It's a stretch. You don't have to worry, man. I'm not leaving you, Dwayne. I'm going to be right here with you, my man.
I was afraid of that, Mark. 41 seconds to go. Don't forget, we'll be in Daytona Beach next week. Bethune-Cookman and these Hampton Pirates, who it hurts right now, but as Joe Taylor says, they're going to have to pick themselves up and hope that maybe, as Blanche Dubois said, the kindness of strangers will work its way into their future. And maybe they'll get back into this.
You're quoting a Golden Girl? Oh, it's been a long day.
Rattlers keep it on the ground as time winds down. 34 seconds left to go in this one. In Hampton, the Pirates really thought that they had a chance to win this game today. When we talked to them to a man, they believed they had a shot.
They thought that the infusion with Tim Frazier into the lineup and the versatility of Octavius Cash would open up some things, and I'm quite sure of all the disappointing things, the real disappointment has to be with their defense, and certainly here in the second half. Their defense just did not have any answers for Florida A&M, stopping their passing attack or their run game. And now Hampton for all intents and purposes, has to play the role of spoiler starting next weekend. We've got another elimination match. Bethune-Cookman down there will be trying to keep their championship aspirations alive, and Hampton will be trying to end them.
With the apparent loss, Hampton will go to 3-2 in the conference, 4-4 overall. Florida A&M will go to 6-1 in the conference and 6-2 overall. Quinn Gray trying to go down with some help. The Florida A&M Rattlers come in and do what they had planned to do.
And, you know, everybody down in Tallahassee was a little upset at their performance against Tennessee State. Heard some things that people weren't too happy about what transpired in Greensboro a couple of weeks ago. Bottom line is, FAMU still is in position to win the championship again and get to the 1AA playoffs. 4 weeks to go, that's all you want.
And that's it. 47-35 is the final. Florida A&M defeats Hampton University. Our Bank of America players of the game. Florida A&M still in it. Isaac Brown of Florida A&M and Travis Hales of Hampton.
Brown set the tone. His first catch, he takes it all the way to the end zone, and Travis Hales did as much as he could to continue with the running attack to keep Hampton in the contest. But the bottom line was, early in the game, the offensive line let Hampton down. They got their act together. In the second half, it was the defensive line which let them down. Defensive unit as a whole, and that's why they fell today.
Earlier in the season, we had Florida A&M at Howard University, and the Florida A&M team we saw then balanced run and pass adroitly. Really surprised us. That team resurfaced here.
Certainly.
Today.
Well, I think they really wanted to take advantage of the undersized secondary and the lack of quickness in the secondary that Hampton has. However, Quinn Gray was a little off in the first half, so they had to, I guess, remake themselves at halftime to play a little bit more ball control, and they were able to control and dictate the tempo in the second half.
And they were able to do that. They moved out ahead 20-3 early, and then watch Hampton come back with Atavius Cash replacing Patrick at quarterback and actually take the lead. Undaunted after throwing 4 interceptions in the first half, Quinn Gray comes back, settles down, and leads the Rattlers back.
But you're outscored in the second half 27-3. That's the difference in the game. Defense can't give up 27 points in the second half when they're trying to win a championship.
Well, the Hampton Pirates now look to regroup. They will play out the spring. Will be down at Bethune-Cookman next week. Things just didn't work out for them here at Armstrong Stadium as night descends upon Hampton, Virginia. Next up for Hampton, as we mentioned, they'll be at Bethune-Cookman, and for Florida A&M, they will be home against Southern, and then on the 17th, that big one in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl with Bethune-Cookman.
Oh yeah, and the folks down in Florida, that game will be available on Sunshine Network once again this year.
Florida A&M getting together at midfield. The Hampton Pirates talking about what went wrong, having to regroup for next week and their trip to Daytona. Joe Taylor talking to his Pirates. Once again, our final, 47-35, Florida A&M over Hampton, Virginia. Our next telecast next Saturday from Daytona Beach, the Hampton Pirates taking on the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. 12 p.m. kickoff from the Sunshine State. For Mark Gray, Donna Hopkins, our entire crew, we've watched the mighty Quinn, fallible he may have been in the first half, come back and do his job in the second half as he leads the Rattlers over the Pirates. Good night, everybody.